Welcome to the Play Some Video Games podcast. I am one of your hosts, Delvin Cox. I'm back, baby. And with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Donnie Reese. How you doing, brother?
What's going on? Welcome back.
And also with me.
You didn't die?
Didn't die. The light-skinned Chalfie. Chalfie, how you doing, bro?
What's up? Damn. That's how they do people of color around here?
That's my bad.
Okay.
That is correct.
I was trying to adjust his microphone and accidentally yeeted you out of the conversation.
Yeah, seriously, I
Sounds
got the
right.
fucking boot.
This show's going off to us.
Donnie was like, this too ethnic.
Too many of them. You can't let them congregate.
That's terrible, man. I can't believe you, Donnie. That's fucked up.
The hell was that?
My wife opened the screen. She bring me.
Did the Joker just break in your house?
It's like you lifted the garage door next to you.
the sliding
thing.
sliding door.
Oh,
You're a
man.
WD-40 man? Put some lubricant
you
those
may-
damn
You may need
racks,
something. That shit was loud as hell.
Yeah, it's all.
man.
So I guess we start with the guest. Well, not really the guest.
I have to.
I mean, I've been around.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, he's a part of the team now. He's not a guest.
he's the
Yeah.
team member.
I
Put
live
him
here.
down.
I put my feet on the couch.
Yeah, he's like team member Chalfie. How's your week been?
I mean, it's been fine. It's just we're at the point now where we're just getting ready to wrap up the school year, so everything's fucking crazy right now, like super wild. Because I say this just on Cadillac too. It's like trying to land a plane and like take off at the same time. You can't do it. It's like that fucking impossible. So I'm like hiring and firing, fucking budgeting. Just getting a bunch of shit together. They're going to be doing summer school, 2 different summer school programs on my campus. So I got to make sure like everything's all fucking in place. And then just busy as shit, just like super fucking tired. So I'm like, oh man, I just got to crawl to the finish line. I'll be all right. I'll make it through.
I saw a question here, but that they asked for you specifically. So I'll
Okay.
just ask right now. They were asking.
Did
What
they
do you
ask
think-
specifically because I'm on the West Coast?
Yes. They asked how you like your what is the damn thing called?
Hambone Johnny writes, how
There
is
you go.
Chalfie liking the Portal, and is it getting more use than the Steam Deck?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, let's fucking jump into it.
Oh,
So,
wow.
this is actually why I'm on tonight, because then Donnie had said, we need to talk about it. I was like, for sure. Yes, it is like getting significantly more use than the Steam Deck, because it's just fucking simple. Like it just does what it's supposed to, and
It does just work. Like,
yeah,
it's
it really does. And it like the screen is actually really, really nice. The sound
is.
is really good. If you already know DualSense, then you know the mapping and everything, it's fine.
Have you used it away from home, or have you only used it at home?
I've only used it at home. I haven't used it away from home yet. But I haven't been away from home. Like if I use it at work, I'm on a fucking lockdown network, so I couldn't even use it. But it plays really, really well. There's some things along the way that I learned. Like, yeah, there might be a little lag here and there, but just from like looking around, and this is why I like it. Like instead of having to get into the system and change a bunch of settings and whatnot, I saw in a few different places that like if you're trying to play like multiplayer games or like let's say Helldivers or Call of Duty, yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of lag. But if you start the Portal and then from the Portal restart the PlayStation, like your connection improves. So then a lot of that lag like diminishes to like almost zero. So it's like boom, you're good to go. And so I tried it where I played Call of Duty without restarting, and I could tell I was like, whereas I felt like I didn't really feel like sputter or like visual lag, but whereas I was shooting someone, then they would turn and shoot me, and I was like, oh, on my end it seems fine. On their end, I'm probably tripping. But then I did a restart, and I was like, boom, 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 fucking knocking people out left and right. So it's clean. And especially because I'm just kind of playing it like I would play regularly at home. Battery life really isn't an issue for me because I'm usually playing in like 30-minute bites. So it's like, boom, I'm good.
And the battery was pretty decent on it, honestly.
Yeah. So I've been pretty stoked. I guess the only like I do have a couple of complaints, and maybe they're workarounds that'll just come down the road. The volume is either screaming in your fucking face or completely off. Like there's no like in between.
I think that's
And
probably
like,
because they probably mostly intend you to use that with headphones.
but even with that, like, so I'll do wired in, and it's still like it goes from like full volume, and then the next tick down is like normal conversational volume and off. There's no like, oh, it's the slight whisper. Like it's just, and then it's done. That, and maybe there is a way to do this, and I just don't know it yet. I don't like that I have to turn on the portal and then turn on the PlayStation. I would like a feature where, like, if I turn on the portal, it turns on the PlayStation, like without me having to do 2 steps. Yeah, like if it could just be like, you want to do this or you want to do that.
I don't think so.
You have to. You
would have to like put the portal in standby mode, because
but
otherwise,
it kind of is in standby mode.
But like if it's off, it's not connected to anything. So if you turn it on, like maybe it had like some sort of auto reconnect or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it just had a little, like if you could say toggle this on if you want to auto reconnect, or toggle it off if you want to do it yourself, because I can see there's no real purpose for having it on if you're not connected, unless you're fucking with the settings.
Yeah,
somehow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't want to have to turn it on, and it boots up real quick, but then have to then go get to the PlayStation.
I mean, it's essentially what PlayStation essentially did is they slapped a Steam link into a tablet and then sold that bitch for $200.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
that's really all it is.
And slap
dual
senses on it.
I do like also that like my son's PlayStation appears as well, so it's not tied a one-to-one device
on the network.
Yeah, so if it's just like there's this other one over here, you want to connect to that, I can connect to his as well.
Do you have dual bands in Wi-Fi like at home? Do you have dual band Wi-Fi? Like my Wi-Fi, my router, I have multiple networks.
Yes.
Does it have to be on the same network to connect, or can you be like on one network if your PlayStation is on another and they still find it in the home?
It'll still find it.
That's cool.
It'll still find it. And
is your PlayStation wired?
It's hardwired. Yeah.
Nice. That's even better.
Whereas my son's is not hardwired, and so I've been able to kind of play around with it. But I'm super stoked, and it's just simple. It just does what it's supposed to do. So it's like, okay, this is really, really easy.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to realize how to use the touchpad on the screen?
Oh, well, I had already been like searching for a while, so I knew I wanted it. So it was just like, oh, boop, boop, it's right there, you know? So I wasn't like super far behind. What did take me a while was it doesn't really come with like a manual that explains like this means this and this means that.
That's why I was asking you that.
So there's a few other buttons where I was like, what the fuck is this like lightning bolt? Like, what does this do? You know? Or it does the USB-C and the 3.5 jack. They're like under, but the opposite way. So then I'm like, I felt like I was looking up someone's skirt, you know, where I'm like, you know, what's under here, you know? Yeah. So it just,
that's a really weird way to describe that.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
I'm not going to go any further than that, but that was.
I was going to make a joke, but this man works in the school system, so I would not make a joke. I was going to make. Nope.
That's a hell of an analogy there, Choppy.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, but no, it's rad. I love it. Like, I have no regrets. I know, you know, Donnie definitely got the better end of the deal, but at the same time, he like I'm glad to know that it went to someone who was good.
Dude, I haven't used that thing. It's been like in my son's room constantly.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Like constantly drained. He's on it all day now. It's like that is his console now. He came out of his room last night at like 11:30. And I was like, "You ready for bed?" He's like, "No, I'm playing Edith Finch." He's like, "I've got 4 of the story." I was like, "What the?" He's like, "Yeah, he's just plowing through all these games on Steam Deck. I've just given him like here's 900 games. Have fun."
And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it."
Yeah,
but that's what I was gonna say is like I'm super stoked that like it went to somebody who was gonna get the most out of it, and especially because it was gonna be fucking Alexa, shut up, bitch.
Sounds like
Because
an episode of like Full House or the father's kid visit Chalfie.
like I was gonna say, because knowing you, like seeing pictures you sent where it's like your son's using it is like it kind of warms my heart. Like this is awesome. Like
Aw.
I didn't get the most out of it. It just wasn't a system for me. I do recognize how like strong it is, but it was just more work than I wanted. The right out the gate, the PlayStation Portal, the Portal was like
strong and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Stupid. No, but the Portal, it's the move. I fucking love it. And I've actually, funny thing though is, I've only really been playing Bully. I never played Bully before, and it's just been sitting in my library forever. So I've kind of
PlayStation 2 Classics Bully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of playing that and really having a good time with it. Plus, it's like old and clunky. So like to play something on a handheld, it's not a lot of menus and bullshit. It's like,
did you buy Bully or did you have like the PlayStation highest tier, where you can get the game for free?
I actually bought it like years ago.
That came out with the PS2 Classics.
Yeah, and it was like
on PS4.
Yeah, I think I might have gotten like PS4 era and like for like $4 or something.
And I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I think it's much better on mobile. Actually, you can play Bully on your phone, and I think it's pretty nice.
Bully's a great game.
Yeah, but I've been stoked. So with that, I've been happy with it. I'm sure it probably does play better on some other things, but like having a dedicated sort of tablet towards it, I'm like, I'm stoked. I'm super happy.
Yeah, it was one of Rockstar's, like there was a real big push from Rockstar there for a while to support mobile. And that's why you got like the GTA games, you got Chinatown Wars, you got Bully.
I remember that.
And like they're really nice. Like they actually put a lot of work and effort into showing like how you
really
can support
did
mobile.
Yeah. And then I got a case that's similar to the Steam Deck case that you have. They have one for the Portal as well. And I got a really good one, and it was only like $12 on like Amazon. And it's nice.
I'm a part of a PlayStation Reddit, and they have like this ongoing thing where people keep sharing their Portal. So every day for the last 6 months, and I mean like every day, I saw somebody post a photo of them using their Portal, talking about how great it is. It's like a love-a-thon for the Portal over there. Like every day there's a new person just joining the fray. It's like it's spreading.
Yeah.
It's like contagious joy. People finding their PlayStation Portal. So
yeah, so I've been happy. So thanks, man. Thanks for coming through with that deal. Because I tossed it out there. I think Donnie mentioned like a while back. I was like, sure, trade me. And then this fucker comes through with like, okay, send it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, I had a $25 gift card at Best Buy that I didn't know what to use on, because for years I've converted all of my rewards points into digital credit. That's all I've been using for, and they stopped that. You can't do it anymore. So I've been getting Steam codes and Nintendo codes with my rewards points from my credit card, and I was like, well, this sucks. And honestly, for this year, I haven't used my Best Buy card. Like since they stopped it, I just stopped. I'm like, fine, I'm not going to purchase anything here anymore. And then you said it, and I was just like, huh, I wonder if it's available. And it was, and I was like, well, I got a coupon.
All right, everything aligned. Yeah. Let's make it happen.
And I knew for a minute they were hard to find.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't even going to wait for it. I saw it and I was like, if he doesn't want, I'll send it back. I'll return it.
And it's kind of been one of those, because the same thing, I noticed it was like hard to find for a while, but within the last month or so, if it's not at Best Buy, it's at this place. If it's not at that place, it's at it. Like you might have to do a little searching, but it's more easily available.
We have a member in the Discords have been flipping them.
Yeah.
He buys them, he flips them for like $275, $250, $280. He's making
pretty smart
$100 off of each one. He's done like 9 of them.
Yeah,
people are having a hard time finding them.
Yeah,
people are having a hard time finding them.
Pretty smart.
So yeah, like I said, I'm stoked. I'm glad you came through. Like I haven't been disappointed. I wish I was able to like tap into my network at work, because there are times like it was like last week I had a late night where it was like I had to go to an evening event, but I was going to be sitting in my office for like 3 hours after school, where I was like, everyone's gone. The fuck am I going to do? And I was like, if I could just get on this network and link in.
Talk to the kids. They'll show you how to get around that shit.
I
guarantee you they've gotten around it 100%.
Yeah. But what they can figure out is how to get their Chromebooks to play Roblox. And I'm like, I don't want to play Roblox, man.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son did the same thing with his Chromebook. And the Chromebooks they gave him at school are like shitty little Intel Duos. They can barely run even Roblox.
Yeah. Last year, we had this situation where we were finding a lot of kids playing Roblox in class. And so one of my favorite interactions was I go to this 5th grader and I was like, hey, man, like, honestly, tell me, like some of the students will talk about games. And I was like, tell me, like, how did you get on Roblox? Because it's blocked and this and that. And he was like, okay, so I accidentally went to this one site. And on that site, I accidentally clicked on this button. And then I accidentally went to, he did like 15 accidents.
I'm telling you, the kids.
And I was like,
so
man.
If you install a VPN and get a free GeForce Now subscription in Italy, you can play Roblox. You're like, what the?
Yeah,
but
it was like
they figure that stuff out.
Like I said, I was like, no, these after 1 or 2, it stops being an accident, and it's like you are hacking the system. And so when I showed my IT guy how the kid did it, he was like, this is impossible. He shouldn't have gotten this far. He's like, but he found the right things. And then he showed everyone else how to exploit it.
If you know how web filters work, you start to realize that you can like juice like URL prefixes and do redirects and just go right around them. Like you can build a redirect on a basic website, probably for free. There's probably a website where you'd be like, hey, I'm going to put in this link and I want you to redirect me here. And you just do that and it goes right around the web filter. Because the web filter is like, oh yeah, that's a link you're allowed to go to. And then you just go to the other link. Yeah.
Well, that was the sort of epicenter of it all. Was the Google Play Store was still active, but they couldn't make purchases. But if you went to the Google Play Store and then clicked on a link embedded in the store, then it bypassed everything because it took you to a whole separate system. And then boom, now you're behind the curtain. And I was like, you guys are fucking brilliant.
So what you're saying is your kids are smarter than your IT guy.
100%.
So you should probably hire the kids as IT.
I mean, it'll always be that way. It'll always be that way.
100%.
Like I said, when they're bored, they don't want to do anything, and you underestimate how far they'll go to occupy and entertain themselves.
It really is like you made walls, but you didn't think that I was going to go under.
Think about us with like LimeWire and stuff. We probably blew our parents' minds back then.
Yep.
You know, it's this, but it's like that, but juiced. Or think about multiple generations of knowledge on top of that.
I'm gonna go on me and Chalfie's era when we were trying to watch Skinamax. The screen was all blurred.
Dang.
trying to catch a boob.
Being like, what is that? Is that a boob?
I think it's a boob. It might be an elbow.
Yeah, right. It was in between. It was in between. It really was like that. Man, those were the days.
So we watching that Logan Paul Tyson fight? Or is it Logan?
No, absolutely not.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's free. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm watching.
Just on the one chance that Mike can roll it back for one swing.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
Just one time.
I know he isn't, but I hope he will because they've already said that
he fought and he just quit.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like not the last one, not that celebrity.
You're talking about the last actual fight.
He just came out and he's like, I just don't have it in me anymore.
Yeah. Not when he fought what was it Roy Jones?
Yeah, that's what worries me with him.
When he fought Roy Jones, they clarified, they specified that it was an exhibition fight, so Tyson wasn't going to knock him out. But there were plenty of times in that fight Tyson could have knocked him out.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me. A lot of his motion, like a lot of his fighting, was based on emotion, his aggression.
Yeah,
and I just don't know if he's going to have any of that with Logan. But I kind of just want to know if there's just one, if he's got one punch in him. Like if Logan just hits him the wrong way and it just jogs his muscle memory and he just gets one of them out there. You know?
Yeah.
It was a couple times in the one time in the was Floyd Mayweather fight where he got clocked and it looked like, like he might have hit him a little too hard. He was gonna go down.
And I mean nothing against Logan. I have been impressed with what he's done just as like an amateur getting in. He's no slouch. He's also, but at the same time, he's also not a professional boxer. And as Smoke and Joe points out, Tyson's training videos look scary. You know why? Because he's a yes. boxer.
Yes.
And there's a huge difference between somebody who hits a heavy bag, and Logan does pack a punch. Don't get me wrong, like he can stick it. But there's a huge difference between that and a professional boxer.
Big
You know.
difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah, because seeing like as we've seen over time now, yeah, Logan Paul really
It's
he's
Jake.
put in training.
I
He's
just Googled
working
to make
towards
sure.
it.
Logan's
You know,
is WWE.
Yeah, I don't know the difference between the two. If you say
Logan
Logan,
is
I'll
the-
say Logan. I don't know.
Oh, it's Jake.
Logan's
It's Jake.
WWE, right?
Yes, that's what I was just thinking in my head.
That's why I was
Yeah.
going Logan. Yeah, no,
Yeah, one does one.
Jake Paul.
Jake
The one
Paul.
that boxes
It's
can
Jake.
pack a wallop. He
He can.
fucking hits hard.
That's
you
what
know.
I'm saying. Like he's developed.
But
He's putting in
by
work. I'll give
boxing
him that.
standards, even for his weight class, I think he's slow.
He is.
He's got
very
slow hands. That's why he's always fighting, dudes that are retired and out of their not even on the tail end of their prime. They're kind of out of the game.
But
he's fighting
I
a
think
6-year-old man.
The biggest issue that I have with this is the fact that it's like all the fucking rules. Like, okay, we're gonna have extremely short rounds. My brother might be able to jump in. You can't do this. You can do.
Jack was telling me about some of that. I haven't followed it that closely. I didn't think any of that was real.
No, it's like all the contract shit.
Jack
It's
said they have
kinda crazy.
headgear.
I think
they
he
actually
can,
boxing
but
with
Tyson
headgear?
doesn't.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't like that. If you want to square up with Tyson, square up with Tyson. You're making a mockery of it. Get in there.
Because then it's imbalanced. It's like, oh
Well, it's
come
not-
on, man.
It's already
like,
imbalanced.
It's already-
Mike Tyson's
fight.
like 65 years old.
It's gonna be an exhibition fight anyway, so it's not gonna be. They're not gonna go trying to knock each other's heads off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun to watch Tyson.
I just don't want to see Tyson lose for the sake of losing. Like, if I
He's
gotta
gonna
give
get
him
paid.
anyways. Because I think then that kind of affects the legacy in a sense.
Nah,
I kind of agree with that,
I don't.
even though it doesn't matter. I think
His legacy as a boxer is already written. That's done.
He's
Him
my
taking
favorite.
an exhibition as an old man for a payday has nothing to do with how great Mike Tyson was in 1988.
But people tend to really remember the
Before drugs and prison, Tyson, that Tyson was amazing.
I agree.
One of the best we've ever seen. Like, he was incredible.
But people remember the most recent. For example, when you say Tyson, a lot more people are talking about him whooping that kid's ass on a plane than the last fight he ever had.
But that's not his legacy, right? That's not his legacy as a boxer. That's pop culture.
Yeah, this is more.
But they go hand in hand, though.
I don't think so. Because honestly, all these people that know him about a plane or a movie or something, they don't know him as a boxer. They don't know that he boxed. They think of Evander Holyfield. They don't even realize that's the tail end of Mike's career.
Yeah, that was the way back.
You need to see Olympic Mike Tyson.
To credit Donnie,
Light heavyweight Mike Tyson. Not
think-
even at his biggest. Light heavyweight Mike Tyson.
Mhm.
I don't think most people remember Muhammad Ali's last fight,
Correct.
which
Or
he lost
Foreman's. That's just a tale of being a boxer.
badly.
you know.
He lost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yarden says he bit a guy's ears off. This probably won't affect his legacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we got robbed. We never got to see Holyfield Tyson before all the stuff came out. Like, that's
That'd
the
be fun.
Yeah.
fight that we should have had.
True.
When you see crazy head movement, young, sleek Mike Tyson, when he's giving up 100
Fucking
pounds to everybody
beast.
else and fucking walloping people.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and just hunting. There are some fights, man. I remember there's one fight. I can't remember the guy's name that he was fighting, but he was good. And to be honest with you, he probably took the first round off of Tyson. He's kind of kicking Tyson's ass because he was landing everything, and Tyson was swinging and missing and swinging and missing.
You're
Like,
talking
he
about
had the combo right, and then like
isn't it?
out of nowhere, he swings and Tyson ducks it and just fucking pummels this dude.
Yeah.
and
But
you're
I
like,
think-
that's really all it took was one hit, and this fight.
Are you
is
talking
over.
Frank Bruno?
Maybe that might be it. Like, he was really sticking Tyson hard for a minute. You're like, yo, look at this guy. He's got something. And then Tyson was like, but he doesn't though, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the Tyson fights in my head because I used to that used to be my like pastime to watch with my dad. He'd of course steal like cable. We just watch all the Tyson fights.
I mean, that's how you had to watch it. If you paid for it legitimately, were you really watching it?
By heavyweight standards, he's little.
Yeah.
You know,
But that was the whole thing that he brought to the table. Yeah, he was little, wide as fuck, like
strong
just
as
the
shit.
speed.
good balance,
fast.
real
That was
strong,
really on point.
head movement,
He hunted you. Like
fucking head
it was
movement
like,
on point. He'd dip and slide off punches so fast. He was great.
because
really
he put fear in people without a punch. It was
Body
just like,
hook combos for days. Body hook combo.
God, yes.
Down and up, down and up, down and up.
Couldn't pay me to fight Tyson even now.
No, zero.
I would.
Mm-mm.
I've told you this. We've been over this. I would love to take a punch from Tyson.
Absolutely not.
100%. One.
And then he's just donning fucking airbrushed on a t-shirt. R.I.P.
I mean, that's an experience. That's an
I
experience.
would take a spear from Roman Reigns before I take a punch from Tyson.
I mean, that's bullshit. No, I would love to take a punch from Tyson. With gloves and stuff on? Absolutely.
No.
Give me a mouthpiece? For sure.
Nah, absolutely not.
I'd be like, look, I'm going to start swinging, and you hit me whenever you can.
Absolutely not.
It would be
fun.
just like the fucking Mike Tyson punch out. I'd go out there and just.
Yeah. Your definition of fun and
Oh, no,
bond.
he's going to put us all down, but
Yeah.
I'm
Not
not
me.
going to be a bitch and not get in there. You wouldn't, like, if he's training and they needed somebody to spar, you wouldn't get in there? I absolutely would, 100%.
That's a good question.
I'd be like,
Super
wrap my ass
fun.
in
What
the
a
mattress.
story. Are you kidding me? A story to tell forever.
Looking
Because a lot of times with the sparring, it's defense. So they just give you the gloves and they're like, yo, go try to hit him if you can. And you just go in there and swing as much as you can and let him,
hit
work
the
on
sparring
defense.
thing. Tyson
Man,
might
I'll
have
be
a
out here like
flashback.
fucking.
You got headgear,
Steve-
you got a mouthpiece, you'd be fine.
The result is you'd be out here like Stephen Hawking on fucking keyboard.
Come on,
I fought
come
Mike
on.
Tyson.
You look like Tommy. You look like Martin after Tommy Hearns beat him up.
Right.
You would not. You'd be fine.
Yes.
At most, you might get a concussion.
Well, that's fine. I
Okay.
have plenty of those.
You got those to spare.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, true. You got an
Anyways.
allotment.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm definitely watching it.
I'll watch the highlights on TikTok.
That's fine too. I might watch it that way, but I definitely want to pay attention.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I think it's like a good card from what I was seeing.
Yeah, but they're gonna have like an hour of fucking pre-build, and I'm not gonna watch all that.
Oh, yeah, I pay for Netflix. So I have no choice.
Anyways, it's 30 minutes. I can't be talking about Tyson all night.
I mean,
What you been doing?
they
Tom?
also someone brought up, who was it? Snurts brought up the or Smoking Joe maybe? No, Snurts brought up the Tyson cartoon was funny. That
it's
shit
great.
is really hilarious.
It's
That cartoon
Fantastic.
is a
I love
riot.
that show.
I'm playing Switch, like a ton of Switch stuff. I have been all week, the last couple weeks actually. I'm playing Unicorn Overlord, which I picked up on sale last week, and since I've got it, I've probably put in maybe 5 hours now. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely like really good Fire Emblem stuff. It's a bit more like Fire Emblem has a lot of automation now that you don't really have to fuck with stuff you don't want to, that Unicorn Overlord doesn't have. So like you got to go in there and you got to manage your inventory, you got to manage your units, you got to organize them and pair them up and do all that automatically. I mean, not manually. Whereas Fire Emblem, you can kind of like just press a button to get like best equipment, which is what I've been doing for years. So there is like a lot of that stat padding shit that like I kind of don't want. Like I don't want to do. I'm like, I don't really care about this. But the strategy part of it's a lot of fun. So I'm really digging that game like a lot. Probably maybe one of the better new games I've played this year. And then when I'm not doing that, I am playing a bunch of Switch stuff.
You really fell in love with your Switch again, man.
Yeah, I have. Like since I started going back to work more often and carrying it, like I'm kind of back in like the old times or a portable, like I'm carrying around with me.
Mhm.
Right. So the battery life, it's like I'm still playing 2K. I play AEW every now and again. I downloaded a bunch of demos from the Nintendo Direct today. But last week I was carrying my 3DS, still on the charger right there behind me. I've been playing
Mhm.
Kirby Planet Robobot, played it last night too. My wife's been playing Animal Crossing. So when she's got my Switch, I've been playing on my 3DS, and then when she doesn't have my Switch, I play on the
Switch
Switch.
it off.
Yeah, we switch it off. So that's what I've been doing. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about, and I'll save a lot of that for Shaq. I did go see Civil War. If you want to talk about it, I saw that this weekend. I've been
What do
pretty
you
hyped
think
for
of
this
it?
movie.
Because I
think
was
that-
not going to watch it.
I think the movie's way overhyped.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
I don't think it's bad by any means. But if you were in our Discord, or I want to say if you were on Twitter, if you follow any sort of media coverage of South by Southwest, dude, they were hyping the fucking hell out of this movie. People were talking about I saw, and I'm not even saying like, I'm talking journalists, newspapers, media coverage. They're calling Nick Offerman Oscar worthy. He's in the movie for like 1 minute, like the whole movie.
People have told me it's fantastic.
Here's the thing. It's really, I was going to say it's funny. That's not the right word. Before the previews came out and people started hyping the hell of it, people started calling this the new, like this generation's Apocalypse Now. Like
What?
people are talking about this is like a great movie of all time, like stuff. It's not. This movie isn't half as good as Dune 2 is. Before
Which is
all
out on
of that,
digital now.
before all of that publicity came out, I was interested in this movie because I thought it was going to be like a schlocky, Independence Day kind of action film, right? And then all of this stuff came out, and I was like, oh man, is this like a great movie? I can't wait to go see it. And then you go see it, and I shouldn't be surprised at this at all because it's an A24 joint. It's an art house movie. Like it really is. It's beautiful scenery. They have a lot of images where they just try to get you in a trance by how everything looks. There are some action scenes. I'm not going to tell you it's not action. It's just not the focus of the movie. It's just kind of angsty. There's not a lot of like geopolitical storytelling. You're not going to find out why we're at war. You're not going to find out what led us to here. It's not that movie. It's literally just like you enter the movie, we're at war. You vaguely have an idea of why, and then you just kind of get some scenes of what Civil War might look like in America, and that's it. Like, and then you're out.
I was kind of like, I don't want to see that shit. We might actually.
It's fine. That. Like it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm not saying it's bad, but if you're there for like an Independence Day, like blow me away action flick, it's not that. It's like I was trying to tell my father-in-law because he saw the trailer. I showed it to him, and he was like, "This is amazing. This looks like my kind of movie." Coming out of the theater, I was like, I have to tell him before he goes to see it. That this isn't
Don't do
movie. Like this isn't the movie you think it is. It's way more art house and like introspective than that. Way more. It's okay. It's fine. It's not Dune. Go see Dune.
Well, you don't have to go see. Like I said, you literally can watch it at home now. You can watch Dune.
Like it's a better use of your money. I'm not upset that I saw it. I'm not like, okay, maybe the best way to surmise it because I'm not a movie critic. I'm not going to tell you all the reasons why, but. Like, I won't be buying this movie. It's not shelf worthy. I'm never going to watch this movie again. This is like a disposable good movie. You watched it, you saw it, and I'm moving on. Which if you want to see it, do it. You should see it. But like, it's not overly memorable. Yeah. There are people talking about how the entire country was going to be enveloped by this movie and it was going to set the stage for the election and it's going to change the generational thinking of, and I was like, it does none of that. What fucking movie did y'all watch?
That reminds me of the movie they were talking about last year that they said the same thing about, that I also was like, I'm not watching that shit.
What movie was that?
That was The Sound of Freedom. I'm like, I'm not watching that shit. People kept telling me, "Oh, you should see it. It's amazing." Like, no, I don't want to watch
it. And you know what? Maybe there are people that actually legit have that take. Maybe it's I won't make fun of those people, but I would imagine there's a reason why people like that have that take for movies like that. And I think I'm not in that demographic. So.
And not saying anything bad about either one of those movies. Just like I don't want to deal with that right now.
It's
like,
just
I kind of just want to watch.
It's
movies.
Not that smart of a movie.
Oh, okay.
So like if somebody came away telling me like, oh my God, this movie really impacted the way I see, I'd be like, you should probably read a book or because it's not that smart of a movie. Like the movie's it's not that smart of a movie. It's a really pretty movie. I do like that. And I do enjoy seeing like Kirsten Dunst. It was compelling at times, somewhat captivating, but it's just plot wise, there's not a whole lot there. Dude, it's like my wife said, it's Last of Us, but journalism. And that is literally it.
That doesn't sound good.
Because Kirsten Dunst has like this wannabe reporter that tags along. It's like this little girl. And like the movie is just kind of them two like going through this civil war and like her making sure this little girl's okay until the end. And it kind of is like civil war, but journalism. Like like Last of Us, but like a book report. If Last of Us was about writing a book report or taking photos, Last of Us, but Instagram. No. That is what this movie is.
Does it have giraffes?
No giraffes. Sorry, buddy.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not all that. Like the scene in the trailer that, and I'll speak about that because I'm a spoiler. The scene in the trailer with Jesse Plemons. I think that's his name. Isn't that right? The dude from Friday Night Lights and all that. He's is he really her husband? I don't know. I don't keep up with celebrity couples.
Which also there's like a meme that goes around that says if you ever see this white man show up in a movie, just know it's bad news for everyone.
So his scene in the trailer where he goes like, "What kind of American are you?" That's the most tense scene in the movie, and it's about 6 minutes long out of an hour and a half movie, and like that's the plot development of the movie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of scenery. It's a lot of environmental storytelling. It's a lot of scenery. You're seeing things happen there's not like a story or a plot. Like this isn't I was gonna say, what was the asteroid movie in the 90s that had like that actually not Armageddon,
Armageddon?
was the other one.
Deep
What's
Impact?
the other one. Deep Impact. It's not Deep Impact.
Okay.
You know, it'd be like if Deep Impact was everybody watching the meteor hit and just hit without saying words.
Like it just happened.
It just happened. Like, that's exactly what it like. It's like, yeah, this is what Civil War would look like. And you're like, why is any of this happening? You're like, I don't know. You figure it out.
Doesn't matter.
Fill in the lines how you want to see it.
And that which also sounds very A24, where it's like
It is. It's
there's,
very art
there's no
house.
beginning, there's no end. It's
100%.
just, here's the slice.
And when I first discovered the movie, I was like, that's absolutely what it's going to be. And then when all the stuff came out, I was like, I was wrong. And then I went to go watch it. And I was like, no, I wasn't. This is exactly what the movie is. And yeah, so it was okay. It was all right.
Yeah, I know
don't
I've
regret
seen the
seeing it.
trailer for this, but it's absolutely like erased from my brain. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got no fucking clue. I couldn't tell you. So when you said all these names, I was like, fucking movie
I was
is this?
hyped. Like
So
all
then I
the
looked up,
coverage
I was
that
looking up
following
images
was
on the
hyped.
side, and I was like, oh, I have seen this stuff.
Yeah,
but
Fowler was talking about it the other day with us.
Yeah,
I
that's
love-
right. It was.
Yeah.
I love an End of the World movie.
I
Like
do
it might
too.
be next to horror movies, maybe my favorite genre of movies, End of the World disaster films.
Me too.
So when this thing first showed up, I was like, I have to see it. Yes.
Yeah.
And in that regard, as a fan of those films, in that angle, it's disappointing.
Okay.
It doesn't scratch that itch at all.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, it is very much like we're at war. You don't really find out a whole and honestly, if I was critiquing it, I would honestly say it's kind of cowardly. Because to make this movie, you are exploiting the current political climate to get
100%.
people in the theater, and then you just kind of pussy out at the end by not actually addressing any of the reasons that people from the trailer are interested in watching the movie.
So sort of like
you
how
just kind
Delvin
of
was saying,
chicken
like,
out. It's like, come
Sound
on,
of Freedom. It's just to you're
Exploit the
gonna
masses.
draw in and polarize. You're really just playing to a crowd.
I'm not a fan of that, by the way.
So, yeah, it both doesn't do what you think it's going to do, and doesn't do what it does super well.
No, I'm cool.
But
with
it's okay. It's fun. It's a pretty movie. Like visually,
No.
there's a lot to see there. If you're into that sort of thing.
that.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Pass.
I watched Fallout.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's taken over the internet. That's the whole damn thing.
It's
That shit is
enjoyable.
crazy.
That's
I don't-
gaming right now.
I know people. I like it. I think it's cool. I wouldn't say it's the greatest because people are saying this is the greatest video game adaptation ever. I'm like, oh, it's good. Maybe I'm not just crazy about it like everybody else is, but it's good. It's entertaining. I like the way the show looks very pretty. Characters are quirky and fun. I think the beginning episode 1 is really, really good. And I think the
Yeah.
stories are fun and interesting and fascinating. And I like how they
I'm
did the Fallout
about-
universe.
3/4 of the way into the first episode. I was watching it the other night, and then I just like fell asleep at the end. But I would agree with a lot of the stuff that people are saying, because for a video game like show, I don't feel like I needed to play the game.
Yeah,
like-
it's good.
It kind of carries you through, where sometimes you watch like the game adaptations and it's like, oh, this fucking thing. If you know the games, you get the pieces. You don't really need to know the pieces. I know middle stuff about Fallout, but it's enough for me to be like, I get the references, but I don't need the references. And then how they're kind of, the opening sequence is fucking
Really good.
amazing. That was so good. And then just how they're kind of telling the separate story arcs, and I'm assuming they'll all come together at some point. I'm like, oh, this is actually really well done. There's a bit of it that feels a little CW-ish about it.
Exactly.
Like I don't know, it's the way it's like shot.
It's quirky, a little quirky. It
Yeah.
works for the show, but it's like a
Because like the brother that's in the vault is like, just, I'm like, how are you like an old man, but like her younger brother, but not like, I don't feel like I don't get it. It's weird. Like, so there's some stuff
It's
I'm like,
Fallout.
okay, I guess we'll get there. I guess
lot
we'll
of
figure.
incest jokes, by the way, too, on that show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
When she was straight up saying like, yeah, you know, it's cool for us to hook up like as cousins, but we can't get married. I was like, What are you talking about?
which is a thing in Fallout, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually like, it's one of those where I could see, like, my wife and I can probably watch it because usually she's just like, I don't watch any of this shit. Like, no, this is for nerds. But this one, I can see it working because we also did you guys watch? I think it was on Apple TV. It might have been called Silo.
I don't think I did.
I mean, I don't watch much TV. I haven't watched the Fallout thing. I'm not in Fallout, so I'm not going to watch it.
So Silo's the same concept, and they're like in silos where the cities are like in levels, and it's just about how they live in that structure because there was some big like cataclysm outside. And so I could see, like, if you liked that show, you would like this show. Like, they kind of would exist in the same universe.
I mean, I don't have anything to say on the topic, but I will say that, like, the Walton Goggins is in it, and I have almost loved him in everything I've ever seen.
He's very good in this, by the way.
He's amazing.
He's very good in this.
I love him in Vice Principals, Righteous Gemstones. He played a transgender character in Sons of Anarchy.
That dude's fantastic in everything.
Amazing.
Underrated.
Hilarious.
Did not know his
Underrated.
name.
He's really good.
Did not know his name until Haley said, "Oh, it's this guy." Like, oh, okay,
He's
yeah,
really
great.
good. I think most people know him from Justified.
Yes,
I never watched Justified, but the other ones I liked a lot.
he looks like.
And he's a range of characters too.
Vice Principals is hilarious. If anybody's never seen it, you should watch it.
I think I've only seen like one episode of it, but I am familiar with it. Which I hear it might be coming back.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because he was because that's what Danny McBride, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
super funny.
So they were talking to him about it, and he's like, "Well, you know, something about he had just finished talking to Danny McBride, and they were like,
It's almost a companion to Eastbound and Down. It's like Eastbound and Down-ish.
Mhm.
They're very close. You know, it's very funny.
So yeah, people watch it.
People love it.
It's good. It's good.
It's okay.
But then,
Everybody
but
but
then
Delvin.
the fallout of Fallout is really interesting. Like how
Everybody
many
but
people are
Delvin.
playing?
It's okay. Oh yeah. It's
That's
good.
our top news story. You playing anything, or do you want to get into the news?
Let's get to the news. I'm not playing nothing.
Okay. Well, our top news story is Fallout's taking over the gaming sphere. Hot off the heels of the new show on Amazon, which you can watch now, obviously, as we just talked about. The games are seeing a massive player and sales boost across all platforms. Fallout 76 has doubled their concurrent players on Steam. Fallout 4 has spiked over 100,000 users across the weekend, 700% more concurrent players in just a week. Both 76 and Fallout 4 rose to the top 5 of Steam's bestsellers of the weekends. It's also worth mentioning that almost every Fallout game on all storefronts are on deep discount. Now you pick up Fallout 4 right now on Steam for $5.
Yeah, my son bought like all of them.
Yeah, they do have a bundle, and you can buy like all of them for like $30.
Yeah.
So that's also playing into why the numbers are being juiced, but they're being juiced regardless. Like people are playing Fallout, which is amazing that there's this many people buying Fallout. Because I would have figured, like, I don't play Fallout. I really just don't play it. I'm not that into the series, and I own the games because they're always on sale so often. Like, I just pick them up just because.
Well, you got to look at it like this. There's always another generation that never played the games. That's like just turning 18, just turning 16. Like, what the hell is Fallout? Let's try it.
And
Maybe
they're part of the whole. They're part of the whole like cycle, where it's just like someone, like you're saying, like someone rediscovers Fallout or has heard about Fallout. It's just you heard about Zelda, you heard about Fallout. Like these games exist.
Yeah, my son,
Constantly.
he's in that cycle. I am curious because it seems like all these games and stuff becoming TV shows and movies are kind of working for the games in progress. Like I feel like The Last of Us got an uptick when the show came out.
Sure,
You're
you're reaching people that normally don't play video games.
Yeah, and it seems like the movies, even if they're not that great, are kind of connecting and kind of bringing more sales to it. Like I think Gran Turismo did pretty well, even though the movie wasn't really a great. People kind of like.
I like that movie. I think movie's not that bad. It's a fine movie. It's not a great movie.
Yeah,
it's not like
fine.
It's not a piece of cinema or anything. But like, if you've ever watched like Air Bud or something like that, like Gran Turismo fits nicely in like that mold.
Damn, how you gonna compare it to Air Bud?
It is because like any like of those. I was thinking movies of that ilk.
Now that I'm thinking like the car catching a football.
Right, so all of a sudden cars are fucking jumping.
But yeah, any like kind of there's just good feel movies like the Uncharted movie was.
Yeah.
Like these little movies, like they're not. I don't think they're gonna make like a lasting impact on anybody, but for what it is, It's
It's
a fine
good.
movie.
Yeah.
It's a fine movie. Yeah.
So I think
It's a good airplane movie. You know, watch it to pass some time.
in retrospect, I think when they first started saying, like, I think Sony and all these companies first started saying, we're gonna start making movies out of everything. We're like, this is a terrible idea. Now it kind of feels like
if memory
it's
serves,
work.
I think you said this was a great idea. I'm probably the one that says it's terrible. I don't really like.
So
That would sound more accurate.
I don't want all of my video game franchises to be this ubiquitous entertainment movie juggernaut. I don't want to be constantly battered over the head with, have you watched the movie? Did you watch the TV show? Do you have the mobile game? Do you have this game? Like, it's too much for me.
Not everything.
Like, that's why I kind of
like
stepped out of the Marvel thing.
universe.
The Marvel thing, it's like, did you see the movies? Like, I did. And they're like, did you know we've got 20 more coming and the TV? I'm like, okay, fuck, never mind. You know, like, who's got all this fucking time? It's like, we create these enterprises and that's all they want you to do is just consume that. And it's like, I like to consume a lot of different things, you know? So, you know, I kind of like my experiences to be more pick up and play. You know, as Devin usually call me, a buffet gamer. I like to pick and choose, like, when I want to do that stuff. I don't want to feel like I have to keep up with it.
Well, I think this generation kind of fits that more. Like I
definitely think I'm in the mind. I'm in the minority.
They want more.
I'm in the minority of this. Everything needs to be a universe, and I don't want everything to be a universe.
This might have been like 2 or 3 episodes ago, kind of on the same line, and I fully agreed with Donnie. Like, we don't have to have like 1 through 6 of a game anymore. Like, I miss having 1 really good game or 2 really good games, and not like. And now we expect annualization. You know, we're just gonna get the next one and the next one and the next one.
My thing is, I worry that like you get a really good hit with one of these shows, and then that takes the game.
Yes.
And like instead of the next game being like a new thing, like maybe like
now we're focused on the other
you get
piece.
the next game via the show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they tell that story via the show, or maybe the show starts influencing the games. Maybe they make a character look more like the actor in the movie than.
Oh, they tried that.
See,
it's like what happened. It's happened in some movies where like there was Mean Girls, and then Mean Girls went to Broadway, and then we have the Mean Girls musical movie, or the same happened to Hairspray.
That's what I worry about. I worry about where it adversely affects the games. Like, it's kind of nice right now because it's like we're doing a video game adaptation. And it's like, yeah, but what happens if that hits? Like, okay, the example I used to use, and it may be a bad example. The example that I used to use was during The Last of Us. Show comes out, it's a massive hit, right? Obviously, you can make that show faster than you can make the game. So, like, what if season 2 comes out? They get that out of the way. The next Last of Us 3 is like 8 years away. And they're like, we're just going to do a season 3. And we're going to do something like that. And we do a season 4. And then you get the game. And like maybe the game picks up off of season 4. Or worse, maybe it's a retelling of what you already saw in the show. Like, I don't want to get there. Like,
where you get something that's like the game is actually going to be a bridge of season 3 and 4. When you remember the guy who left to go get water,
idea.
It's his
this
adventure.
Is Dev's shit. Dev wants his everything to be a universe. He just wants to be wrapped up in a ball of just this thing all the time. You know, he reads all the Destiny novels and all like. That's what I do not want to happen.
Yeah,
with my favorite franchises.
Yeah,
I know what that.
But I do think I'm on the outs on this. People are like, "Fuck, this is way better." Like, people would much rather watch Fallout than The Sopranos or like something else. You know,
I will say this: I felt like you felt, Donnie, until, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I love Regular Show. Regular Show is one of my favorite cartoon shows of all time. When it ended, I was like, damn, I miss Regular Show. Then I found out, like, oh, they continued Regular Show. They like had like a whole comic series that was like offshoots of the show episodes.
Yeah.
And because of that, I went back and started reading the comic book series. And I think when it's something like that, I like it like that. Like, I can go back and kind of, if I want, the show's over, but I can still read the comics or something like that. But I don't want this connected shared universe, but I want like kind of like stuff you can add on to it that you can always go back to. That works.
And I can see that because that's sort of like a nice like downshift too, where it's just like, if I want to read the comic books, I'll read them. I can dip into that and just digest it as I see fit. But I think the contrast, and maybe this is like where Donnie's going, because it's kind of how I see it, where then it just becomes the flood. And you're going to get, you know, 3 season series that culminates in a movie that's going to come into like a new game, and
The game
then
companion.
fucking TikTok dance craze, and it's
And the
like,
mobile
God,
thing.
I didn't ask for all that. I just
What-
really wanted to just have like maybe some DLC, please.
Or the other part where it's like where the media stuff becomes essential. It's like your
Yeah.
comic book thing doesn't sound like it's essential. It's like an option.
Yeah.
But like
Correct.
what we've
Yeah.
seen in these shared universes, they are essential. You are out of the story if you didn't watch the TV show and then get the reference in that show from the other TV series, like where they're connected. Like that's essential stuff.
Yeah. What
You
you
have
said,
to
like,
watch it all to be up to speed with what's going on.
like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead's like that.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that. So like Gears has comics. I've never read any of those comics. I don't know what goes on them. I don't feel like playing the games. It's all that essential. I'm totally up to speed with what the Gears story is.
Yeah.
In the game space, right? But there's total novels out there. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I need to because it doesn't feel like essential. I'm not in the game going, what the fuck's going on? Who's that?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm afraid of where the games might go. Like if we keep going down this path, I think we could get like that. Or a movie introduces a character that wasn't even in the game that shows up in the next game.
Yeah, you're like,
what the
who
hell?
the fuck is this guy Doug? Everyone keeps
Well,
talking
like the
about.
other joke
Like,
that
what's
I've
he
always made is
relevant?
like, I don't want Super Mario Brothers the movie, the game.
Yes.
I don't want that. I don't want a Mario game with Chris Pratt as the VO, and like I don't want that, you know. But here's the thing: since that movie came out, there are people that absolutely want that. They're like, oh,
yes.
yeah,
Definitely.
make this the game, and like that's the death for me. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm done now. maybe it's time to exit the space. Maybe I'm the
Yeah.
old man now because I definitely don't want that. That's like worst case scenario for me.
Yeah, some people love the universe. That shit ain't for me. And it's like, it's too much. Because then I tune out. I'm like, there's already been too many movies, too many shows.
That's what I did with
I'm-
Marvel. I was super into it. I loved the little run up to the end war and all that stuff. And I was like, this is great. We're gonna have this great combination, and then I can put it to bed. And then like 3 weeks later, they're like, we're making 20 more movies, and here's 9. I was like, what? And here was Delvin and Dev. They're like, all of it. Give me more. I'm like, more? Like, so yeah, I'm not. I can't. It's not for me.
I don't even like eating leftovers, man. I don't need more of what I already had.
Yeah.
Don't give it to me.
I get it.
So, Ghost of Tsushima arrives on PC with some cool stuff. There's a new PlayStation overlay that you can toggle with a keyboard shortcut or from the menu that will bring up your settings, your PlayStation account, your PlayStation friends, as well as trophies, which you can now pop on PC.
The more important question is, does the goddamn game work?
Well, this is this is being developed by the good one. You have the
Okay.
good one and the bad one. So Ghost is being done by the good one, and I'm not sure if you saw in the PC chat. I shared recommended settings. It looks like you're going to be able to play Ghost of Tsushima pretty well on like a Steam Deck.
Okay, that's great.
So it seems to be pretty well optimized. And this PlayStation overlay obviously comes with the other PC settings like ultra wide support, upscaling, DLSS. Oh, you're going to get all that stuff too. So
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima, the definitive edition, is going to be pretty sweet on PC. It sounds like. So
That sounds
get
really
excited.
good, actually.
Jack wants it so bad. This is the game he wants to play most, and I'm like, yeah, you got a job or something? He's lived in this life where like everything he wants, I just buy, and like this is like the first example in years where I'm like, I'm not buying that. I have no interest in playing that game at all. And he's like, so how do I get it? I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's
Start
up to
mowing
you.
lawns.
Go
Start
cut
mowing
some
lawns.
goddamn
Figure it
grass,
out there.
kid.
You better
Yeah.
hope somebody in the family group gets that game because I'm
Yeah.
not buying $70 worth of that game. You are out of your damn mind. You think
Yeah.
I'm buying that game? I
Yeah,
might
you
buy
better
it if
call
it
your
goes on
grandma and grandpa,
sale.
see what they can do for you.
If it goes on sale for 15 or 20 bucks, I might buy it, but I'm not buying that game. So, yeah, he's trying to figure out how to do some chores. Game Pass update: Orcs Must Die is available now. So is Harold Halibut. EA Sports NHL 24 comes out tomorrow. Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, which is the long-awaited spiritual successor to Suikoden, comes out on the 23rd.
Oh,
Another
okay.
Crab's Treasure, the 25th. Manor Lords, the 26th. And Have a Nice Death Day. It's Game Pass on the 30th. Those are your Game Pass games for the end of the month. Are you into Suikoden?
I've heard about that game for a while. People keep telling me it's an excellent game. But I didn't know there was a spiritual successor of it coming out.
I will never know. No one's ever gonna find it, man. Because I'm never playing that.
I know it in name, and that's about it.
Take-Two announced that they are laying off 5% of its workforce. They have approved a cost reduction program to identify efficiencies across its business and enhance its company's margin profile while still investing for growth, they said.
So we're trying to save some money. Just say the truth. Stop
How
saying
nasty is that? Like that sentence. It's just like, dude,
Just-
shut up. This is the same company that bought Gearbox for $500 million last week.
Yeah.
This is also, they also said that they have several games that have been canceled, unannounced games that they've canceled. Estimated layoffs are expected based on the size of the company to be around 600 jobs. Based on the 5%. So like they say 5%, but like let's put that in human terms. That's 600 people.
Yeah. What is your 5%?
Yeah. Insider Gaming says that the teams that were mostly affected were WWE 2K, the Top Spin team, and then the team that is in development for the NFL 2K game that they were working on, which we don't now no longer know if it's that game was canceled or not.
I didn't know they were making an NFL 2K game.
I wouldn't call it NFL 2K. I've seen some buzz about this. We talked about this when this was announced. A couple years ago, NFL announced that they've opened up the NFL license to other folks to make games.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
The simulation football game is exclusive to EA. So like nobody can make a competitor to Madden, as I understand it. You can't try to out Madden. What you can do is make like a spin-off. You could do like an arcade game or like a cartoony game, like something else. You
Like
can make
Blitz.
something
You can make a blitz, but you can't make.
So I think that's what 2K was doing. They were doing something like that. But when people talk about it like NFL 2K, it invokes the NFL 2K of the past. They weren't making 2K.
Yeah.
They were making something else. You know, like Playgrounds, or what was that NFL game that we got earlier this year? That was like Playground. It was like the WWE game.
Shit, I can't remember the name of it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was. I think they're doing something like that. And we no longer know if they're still doing that or not. I never saw an update.
Why are they still allowed to do the whole thing with Madden? You only do sports simulation. Only Madden.
Madden does numbers. They don't want to upset
But
the cart.
Yeah.
Madden was pretty good this year. I mean, I'm going to throw some. I've always been a 2K stan. I think NFL 2K was better than Madden most years.
I agree.
But Madden's pretty good right now, so I'm not gonna throw too many stones with them. Like I played Madden last week; it's pretty great. Hades 2 begins tech test on PC. You can sign up now on Steam if you want to get into Hades 2. Josh got into it early, so I pinged him on that, and he got in, and his registration was accepted, so he gets to play early. That's cool. Keanu Reeves is voicing Shadow in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie this December.
Yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
really cool.
Delvin's super stoked for Shadow the movie, the game.
Goddamn right.
Starring Keanu Reeves next year.
Hope to kill his dog.
Oh, damn. If they kill his dog.
What if that's
a
it?
wrap.
Like Shadow's just John Wick? Like they kill Shadow's dog?
That's
and he's
literally
like,
who Shadow
That
is.
would be wild.
That is literally who Shadow
I
is.
don't know
If
who
you know the
Shadow
story
is,
of
yeah.
Shadow.
I don't. I'm not
He
into
kills
the
some white
Sonic
girl.
lore.
John
An assassin?
Shadow goes out there killing people. He carried the hammer.
Oh.
Shadow shoots people.
Look at there. Ubisoft is holding another playtest for X Defiant this weekend on PC, PS5, and Xbox. They're still making that game. That
Yeah, I was
game's
like, we still talking about this
coming out.
game?
When I saw that news, I was like, did they cancel this? I thought this
Yeah.
was the one. I guess not. So
Yeah.
X Defiant still trying to get out there. The Power World CEO accuses Tencent of making a Power World clone with 10 times the budget.
Wait, what?
How you gonna steal? You're
then-
stealing from me the game
Isn't
that I
that the
stole from them. You piece of shit.
There it is. I was waiting for somebody to catch on.
Yeah.
How dare
Okay.
you?
Of course they are, because they're everybody is like that's just how video games work.
Mhm.
When somebody hits on something, especially like the monoliths, they're gonna take that and run with it. You know, if you make a shooter that catches on, 100% Call of Duty is gonna rip that shit.
Yeah.
100% that's gonna happen. But I really like that. That is the headline. Power World CEO accuses Tencent of making
Yeah.
clone.
Truly the
That's
pot
so
calling the kettle
fucking
black.
funny.
They're just like,
Exactly it.
you can't do what we did.
Well, I think it's more upset that he's like, we can't compete with you, and
Yeah.
Tencent's like, yeah, no shit.
That's why we're doing
Like,
it.
that's why we're doing it.
Mhm. They're like, you said it 10 times the budget. Like,
yeah,
here it is.
25 games are leaving PlayStation Plus next month, including a lot of the back catalog Final Fantasy games, Ashen, Abzu, My Friend Pedro, The Awful Escape, and The Messenger, and there's a bunch more. So if any of those games appeal to you at all, and you were like, I'm going to play those one day, and you have the non-essential tiers, you better play them soon.
Yeah, one day's coming up.
Yeah, you're on a clock, so get those done. In our rumor control, there are rumors suggesting that Take-Two, people laying off a bunch of folks, is prepping to announce a Mafia series game soon. This isn't really news. Last year, Kotaku had a report on this, and they said that it's a prequel set in Sicily years before the first Mafia game.
Yeah,
that's
So
dope.
I love the Mafia series, so I
do
think
too.
this would be awesome announcement. My only thing is, and I would imagine this would be the case. Surely they wouldn't do this to themselves. They got to get it out in front of GTA 6.
Oh, yes.
Get it out as soon as possible. Do not let that thing come anywhere near GTA 6 or after, because it'll just be forgotten into oblivion.
Release it now.
Is that what initially buried Mafia 3?
I don't remember. I don't think so. No, Mafia 3 just had a really bad review cycle.
It had a review cycle, but it came out in a window that something else big came out.
And it was one of those games that got better with updates, but it was too late.
Mafia 3 is really good.
Mafia 3 is pretty good now.
It really became like a cult classic. It is like one of my favorite games. You know me, I'll play mainline on games where I'm like, I'm not playing more. I have played every fucking corner of that.
This is just kind of my jam. Like these sort of little open world run around, do mission things is just kind of my MO.
Or something you and I can speak to. You get to drive fucking classic muscle cars and listen to like old rock.
I love them
and just race down roads.
And anybody that hasn't played the remasters, they're super cheap. They go on sale all the time. And I swear to you, they're some of the best remasters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like they put so much care into the like Mafia 2 remastered is dope. That was the first game where I was like, who needs ray tracing? Look how great this game looks. Fuck ray tracing.
They cleaned it up really well.
It's very nice. Very nice.
But Mafia 3, anyone listening, if you've never played it, it's really worth a play. The story's solid.
Also, I believe it's X enhanced. I think that game might be best played on Xbox.
I would think
it's a
you're right.
resolution and a frame boost.
Because I want to say I own
that
it
game up at GameStop for like $2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's super cheap. So,
I mean, same digitally. I think you can like very often find it.
They always sell them. Yeah, they're always on sale. They've been a bundle. You can get like all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great games. According to The Verge, PlayStation 5 Pro should run games at 60 FPS with ray tracing, upscaled to 4K resolution, using the console's fresh PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution (PSRR). Delvin. At least, according to The Verge and the development stuff that they're getting, that's the benchmark PlayStation is setting for the console for developers.
I call cap.
You think they're lying?
Yeah.
Surely, Delvin, a console maker would never make a console and market around things it doesn't do. That surely wouldn't happen.
Yeah, probably not. They're lying. 100% a lie. I have a question for both of you. I've been thinking about this a lot. What really have we gotten out of this console generation? In terms of like,
I mean, you've been hearing me say it since the beginning.
Because when you really look at it, like,
I hate to say I told you so.
All these games that we're getting could have been on PS4 and Xbox.
A lot of them are on PS4
and that's my point.
No, the 5 just feels
when they sold it to us, it was 60.
Pro.
And how many of these games that we're getting on these consoles aren't even 60 yet? Now they're about to sell you. And this is really we shouldn't be surprised. This is what happened last gen.
Yeah.
Buy PlayStation 4, everything would be in HD. And then we got PlayStation 4, and a lot of that shit was at like 800 and 900p. And like,
900p
and then they were like, all right, buy the PlayStation 4 Pro, and now it'll be in HD. And it's like, okay, but the frame rate's still not that great. And then they were like, buy the PlayStation 5 and we'll have the frame rate and ray tracing. And then we got the frame rate, and it's like, but the frame rate's not really there, is it? It's kind of either or.
Yeah.
You know.
I was going to say, I think that in my opinion, the last like Sony generation that really showed growth from beginning to end was the 3. Like in its arc. Whereas like PlayStation 4 was just, it was better PS3. And then PS5 is just better PS4, but not enough to be like, it's a whole fucking new thing and it's amazing.
That's what happens when you adopt x86 architecture. They're just PCs. And
Yeah.
that's where PC has been for 25, 30, 40 years. You know, you just keep slapping in a better GPU and a better CPU, and it just gets a little better every time. You know, but
I think the key word in these notes though is you have PlayStation 5 Pro should run games.
Keyword
So that's the good. That's the main one. There is should. They're
I'll
like,
carry a little water
we
for
didn't
them.
tell you we were. We said it should.
I think most will.
People, you do.
I think most will. There'll be exceptions, but I think most will. I think it'll be like the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Series X, where like most games got to 4K. Not all of them, but most of them did.
Okay.
Yeah. If I was
Fortnite.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was a PlayStation customer and I was playing a lot of PlayStation games, and especially if I was an enthusiast, if I was somebody that listened to a podcast talking about games and talking about fidelity, I'd be all in on a Pro. It sounds great. Now, we don't know what it looks like. We don't know how much it costs yet, right? But assuming that it's in the ballpark of reality of what we expect it to be, I would probably want one. I would be looking to sell or dump or trade up and get the better one, because I think that GPU performance will translate to your screen. I think it'd be a noticeable difference. You'll see a difference.
Knowing Sony, they'll be like, hey, get the PS5 Pro, but your Portal won't work with it. The Portal won't work with it.
You need the Portal Pro.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need the Portal Pro.
Like, motherfucker, I just bought this, and the PSVR 2 that you own won't work with it as well.
That was a mistake. Yeah, we all told you that.
That's very on brand for Sony, where they are like, yeah, we know we just came out with this 6 months ago. You can keep using it on your old one, but you got to buy the new one for the new one. So
the Portal will be fine, but
yeah,
I think it sounds pretty great. But like I'm just not very interested in the brand or the games they're making and things right now. So like I don't have a whole lot of interest.
Yeah, I'm not super hyped on anything big on the horizon. Things I would like a GTA 6, it doesn't have anything definitive yet.
And the thing is, by the time that game comes out, like who knows what your options will be. I think there'll be a lot of people justifying upgrading in November for that game. And then by the time the game comes out, they may have a new console to buy by then.
Yeah.
You really don't know. Like people think that game's next year. Since it's announced, I don't think it's next year. That game is not coming out next year.
Mm-mm.
Telling you, look at history. They all get delayed. Every single one of them is going to get delayed.
Well, look at it this way too. When you look at like sort of how Rockstar does things, we should have like 2 to maybe 3 more big trailer drops.
Yeah.
We haven't had those yet. And those usually lead up into might sound like I'm exaggerating, but if you've been around long enough, the sort of 3 to 4 year window before the game comes out.
Yeah. Well, the hype cycle, the counterpoint to my point would be that the development cycle for this has been so long, and it's been so long that maybe they've already worked through the delay. And that might be true. I might be wrong.
Oh, true.
But until I'm proven wrong, I'm going to keep believing that game's coming out in 2026.
Yeah.
I hope so, but
Fall 2026 is where my money lands.
I just don't think it's going to be next year. But maybe it is. Maybe they prove me wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. But here's the thing. It's not coming to PC, so I'm not going to probably get it either way. Because it depends on how well it runs. Like if it's capable on these systems, I'll probably get it. But if it seems diminished, like if it's Cyberpunk day one, I'm not getting. I'm going to wait for the PC version. I don't want to play games like that. I don't want to play GTA like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty rough.
So, and Insider Gaming reports that Fight Night is in production, but they said don't expect any announcements soon.
Well, get ready for
I've never played any of the Fight Night games.
Fight Night's great.
They're really good.
I mean, I've heard they're rad.
Yeah, they're really good. I was talking about this in the Discord this week because I question how much appeal a game like Fight Night has today. In the landscape of boxing today, I was like, we can put on it Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, like
Tyson Fury, but
Tyson Fury. You're gonna sell a game around Tyson Fury? I don't think anybody gives a fuck about Tyson Fury.
That's what it would be around Tyson Fury.
You would have to do like a all-star game.
Pretty much.
Well, of course, you got to have the legends, but even like.
But I'm saying you would just have legends.
But
like,
even in general, how many people are interested in a boxing game today? Just a pure boxing game.
No, it'd have to be like MMA.
Does it feel like very niche?
I'm not gonna lie.
And it feels like UFC sucked up a lot of that. Maybe they'll buy 2. Maybe they'll buy 2 games. Might be the case.
I kind of hate to say it, but kind of putting Jake Paul on the cover
might be the best thing you could do for it.
Yes,
might work.
Because he's like one of the few people that can put butts in seats to watch a boxing match.
Yeah, putting Jake Paul and even Logan Paul on the cover, like, hey, you can play with the Paul brothers. It might be. It might work for the
When this
game.
news popped up, I was like, I would rather them just remaster the fight nights and like wrap them up in a collection. Give me that. Just bring those games forward, and I'll buy those. But like a new one. And here's the other thing: I'm a little jaded because Roy McIlroy PGA Tour, and like anytime I hear EA, they're like, we're gonna go back, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna fuck it up.
They're gonna kill your dreams.
That's how every time. Like I've been bracing it even for NCAA. I'm super excited for EA, and I'm like, they're probably gonna screw it up. Like I 100% expected it's gonna play like Madden. Like it's just gonna be Madden with, and okay, I'm gonna play it, but like it's not what I want.
Madden CAA.
And it's like that's what I think of when I hear them. They're like, we're bringing Fight Night back. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it's the initial like, oh, that's rad. Probably not.
Because I was jazzed. I was like, Roy McIlroy, let's go. And then you get it, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then they followed up with even worse. And I was like, oh, this is even worse. So, yeah. Anyway, Delvin, that's it for the news and rumors. Take it away.
Let's get to these Rude Day 93 segments.
All right. Nah.
You said Rude Day is 93 sex. I heard that.
No,
yeah, sex. I did hear it too.
Yeah, you said that. You said that.
Wow. Rude Days.
Whoa.
Very clear.
Good luck with that. No, don't kiss me though.
He said good luck with that too. So wow, man, Delvin wants to go. He wants to do it down and dirty, raw dog. He's no kissing. I don't need to kiss. Just fucking spit on your hand. Let's go.
Donnie,
wow.
If I want to win, and I will do whatever it takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to win that much.
Getting Rude Days.
Donnie's like, I will take
this is one time I will hold that L. Thank you. Delvin's holding something else. You can hand me that L.
Seriously. Yeah.
It's time to win this.
Yeah. He's like, these days be rude. Fucking wow, man.
He's not going to give me another point again now.
Oh, he's about to give you a point.
Yeah, you better get points.
Yeah. He's gonna be like the fucking Donnie sent me this TikTok of this dude just fucking downing a glizzy.
Oh,
that's gonna be Delvin.
You see that?
Just
I want to see that TikTok.
Speaking of TikTok, I have a TikTok that I was going to play for the show, but I forgot to rip it.
God damn it, Donnie!
It's hilarious too. It's so for this show, like it's so funny. I'll just have to send you the TikTok.
I mean, try to rip it while Delvin's talking. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's not that important.
Let me see if I can get
I can give y'all the segment real quick. So Rude Day says, finally, as the great Delvin Cox returns, great, I don't know about that, and we solely form a new alliance to take out the respected tribal chief Donnie. I don't know about respected. And Dev, he didn't get Dev no name.
Dev's in lowercase.
He just got Dev in lowercase. Oh, man. I bring to you the wrestling edition of the Over and Under.
Man, fuck this. I don't want to hear about no wrestling. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let me take myself off the screen.
We haven't talked wrestling since Mania, and you haven't really been in our chat since Mania.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And I don't understand what's going on. Are you just that down because AEW?
No.
That you just like you vacated the space? You just left?
My life had fallen apart.
Well, that's true, but still, like you've been in the Discord, but not in you've been around.
No, not really.
Imply that to state that your life has fallen apart means at one point your life got together.
No, it was,
so
it got exponentially.
It got worse.
It got worse. That's worse. It got worse. It got like awful. Like
because I'm like,
your boy Tony Khan, man, is something else.
Last time we talked, it was in shambles. Now you're telling me it's in fucking crumbles.
Yeah, we should talk again.
We probably should.
Facts.
Goddamn, man.
Oh, man. So the questions for Rude Day has, he says, over or under 2.5 more World Heavyweight Champion title reigns before the end of 2024. Already had two this past week.
So he's at 2.5 more.
Yeah, 2.5 more.
So that doesn't count the 2.5 that we've
That
already
does not
had.
account the 2 that happened.
Then
'Cause
I
we
would take
had
the under.
Rollins and June. You know what?
I think we at least get 1, maybe 2, but
Well,
not
we
more than 2.
guaranteed what? Donnie, before you answer, I want to be fair. The women's titles.
Oh, I
count
wasn't
this.
counting the women's titles.
I think you have to count the women's
Oh,
titles.
then way over. Well, never mind. No, way over.
Because I was going to say there's one already going to guaranteed right now.
True. Yep. And I think
How
that's
do you get a half? Maybe it is possible because I don't watch wrestling anymore or anything. How do you get a half?
Oh, no. That's not how over-unders work. You do the over-unders in halves to make people pick one or the other. So essentially you're forcing people to pick over or under 2. You can't hedge at just 2.
Never mind. I was totally reading it. Now I get it. I was reading it as it was going to exchange 2.5 more times. And I was like, the fuck you get a half of an exchange? Yeah. I fell asleep because it was wrestling. So
I didn't want to cheat,
woke up,
John 32. I want to be fair. I didn't want to cheat. I want to be fair. I don't know what I was thinking, but I want to be fair. Let me explain it.
Well, I want to know, like, is Rude, was the Rude thinking of the women's titles?
That is a good point. That is a good point.
I almost feel like with the line, I bet he wasn't. I bet he was.
I feel like you have to think of the women's title.
Yeah, but I don't think he is. I think he's talking about the men's world titles.
So clarify this
number to text him right now. Be like, hey, this is women's.
All right, so mark this, Rude. If you're talking about the women's titles as well, I go over. If you're not talking about the women's titles, I go under.
Same.
So there we go. That's our answer.
Same. Also, Rude Day's going to add this in. If I am correct, my points go to Donnie.
You son of a bitch.
I like it. It's the bloodline, baby.
We're car brothers. What do you want me to do?
Bloodline.
Car bros.
All right. The next one he has is over or under 1.5 single one-on-one matches for The Rock this year.
Under.
I'm going to go under as well.
Yeah.
Because WrestleMania is next year.
Yep. They're not giving that away for free.
Yeah.
He may do a scuffle or something, but an actual ring the bell, have a match, pinfall, that ain't happening. Not on pay-per-view.
So it has to be a formal match, not just a...
Yeah, he can't come out and get in a fight. That's not a match.
Okay.
A match.
Okay, then I'll go under. If it's going to be formal, then it's got... I just was interpreting it as like an appearance and they get into it in the ring. But you're saying, no, it's got to be formal.
It has to be an actual match.
Okay, and before we go to questions, take a look at this.
Police in Tennessee are warning people to stop flushing drugs down their toilets and sinks because they fear they could be creating meth gators. Yeah, this is a real thing. The Loretto Police Department posted this on Facebook after officers found a suspect unsuccessfully trying to flush meth and drug paraphernalia. Police say this is becoming an issue because the flush drugs can end up in retention ponds and then head down.
We have to make this a movie.
Imagine. We thought Sharknado was bad.
We already had Cocaine Bear.
Right, now we have
got to have meth gator.
Imagine thinking so little of your population or being so in tune with your population when you're like, yo, quit flushing your drugs down the toilet. Right. Throw them in the trash or something. You're making meth gators.
Because you're not speaking to one person, you're speaking to a whole population. Please don't do this anymore.
I wish Donnie had the video of The Rock saying, and go home and smoke your crack.
Crack. I'll smack the herpes off your lip.
That's the funniest line The Rock has ever said. They go home and smoke crack.
Yeah, Sean, it's a PSA announcement. Do the meth. Don't flush it. Like you're making a worse problem.
Meth gator.
Meth gator. My wife said it to me, and I was like, I have to put this on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, no, it makes sense.
We have to make this movie. This movie.
This Meth Gator is also going to be a mission in GTA 6.
Just wait. Speaking of that, I watched a documentary this past weekend. I was Googling best documentaries, whatever, and somebody in one of the lists that I was reading recommended a documentary. It was free on Amazon. I watched it. It was called Red, White, and Wasted. Oh. And I had no idea the people that Delvin keeps up with. It was about mud culture in Florida, particularly in Orlando, and it was all like this white trash mud culture, which we see in the GTA 6 trailer, right? We see the Mud and Yacht Club or whatever that's famous and popular. This documentary on that's like the dark side of Florida mudding, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting a GTA education of what we're about to get into.
Sounds about right.
This is insane.
You are
wild.
learning the lore of it all.
Oh man, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
I'm gonna have to
entertaining.
look this up. You said it was on
Too
Amazon?
bad to look away from. If you've ever seen like the wonderful, crazy whites of West Virginia or whatever that was called, it's like that. It's like that. It's pretty insane.
Damn.
Sounds about right. Sounds about
I
Florida.
need to watch this.
Yeah, it's very Florida, and like that's what I immediately messaged Delvin. I'm like, you need to move, like as
Yes,
soon
I
as
do.
possible. You need to vacate the premises.
Yes, I do.
You gotta get out of here.
Yeah. You're like, I'm authentically concerned for not only your safety, your well-being, just all the
You should
environmental concerns you have. You probably should really do better for yourself and leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably will. It's gonna happen. It's not if now, it's a win.
You may not survive.
All right, let's get to these questions because apparently they like us and gave us a lot of questions. Or it's because Dev's not here. They're like, fuck it.
Good
A
game
lot of
of
these are left
questions.
over from last week. You don't have to do these all if you don't want to.
Oh, no, we rock through as many as we can.
Okay.
All right, our first question from TPR. What's a recent game we take for granted now that we'll look back very fondly in 10 to 20 years? Prince of Persia.
Probably.
recent
Yeah,
game.
that's a good pick. My answer for this, not a recent one, but my answer for this, if it's this category, is Rage 2.
That's a good
I don't
one.
think I appreciated Rage 2 as good as at the time, but as the years pass, as more and more games go the way they've went, I'm like, that was a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think one that's really, really underrated. I mean, the critics are kind of here and there on it. Is have you guys ever played Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, it's a legendary game. Critics are wrong. Critics have to be wrong sometimes.
Wow.
It's gonna be a classic. It's gonna be like new scripture.
Yes.
It's gonna be like the new King James Bible, but Detective Pikachu.
I mean, it was so highly rated. I don't necessarily think people. Yeah, no, I don't think this fits because it's not taken for granted. I was wondering, like, as the years plug away and we get into Switch 2 and stuff, like, I wonder how hard it is to follow up something like Mario Wonder,
Very
or if we
hard.
just don't get one for a very long time. You know?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a tough one.
Well, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna. I think we're gonna get another Mario game. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but like a
Well,
direct like a 2D Mario.
It won't.
I could see it. I could see maybe a deluxe version of Wonder.
That
You know,
could
with
work.
some
That'd be
more features and
More levels.
levels and whatnot. But
Pretty cool.
a whole new one, nah. There's still a lot. The replayability of it, and there's still just a
Mario
lot of
Wonder
meat on the.
Maker.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
That'd be
Okay.
super cool. No, they're not going to do that. But yeah, like just we had a long time between New Super Mario Bros. U and Wonder,
Yeah.
right? And Wonder kicks that one out of the park.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like it's way
Mhm.
good. And then I'm wondering, like, where do they go? Like, where do you go next after that?
Yeah.
And maybe they try to do something else, like something wacky. And maybe like, what if it doesn't hit? I am wondering if years down the road, people are like, man, you know, it was great. Mario Wonder was great.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't take it for granted now.
You know what? I got one. Another one. Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think people are
That's
gonna
fair.
look back like, oh, you know what? That game was nowhere near as bad as people made it out to be.
Mhm.
I also think Halo Infinite might count here.
Yeah, Halo Infinite too. A few of
It's
them.
pretty great.
I could see Halo Infinite being one of those resurgence games. Give
I
it a
wonder
little
if,
bit of time.
Seems like it's already having that.
Forbidden West might like feels like Horizon like does maybe get taken for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
really hard to make a game like that well.
Yeah.
You know?
For Horizon probably be one. I think for Spoken probably would actually be one.
Oh, okay.
I think people.
Ooh.
Horizon.
What about Avium?
I think that definitely would be one.
I still haven't
Like-
played it. Still waiting for it to come to Game Pass.
I think people will look back like, oh, this game was not as bad.
Yeah.
Is
Kinda like
Forspoken the one with the girl with the powers?
Yes.
Okay.
I think people are like kind of like what was that Captain Marvel, the Marvels movie? How people in the theaters like, oh, this is terrible. Then when they got this, like, oh, this is actually really good. Everybody like, fuck off. We said it was good. Like, I feel like Forspoken's gonna probably get a little bit of that. People like years they're like, oh, this was actually pretty decent. Like,
Yeah.
well,
Days
Because I
Gone.
feel like
Days
that's
Gone.
kind of already starting to slowly happen too. So I think it was on sale recently, and people were like, "It's actually a pretty good game."
yeah.
Well, 'cause
And that's where it starts
prices and
to
opinions do change based on your investment.
price.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a throwaway or it just came in or you picked it up for used or $20, you might be blown away. This game looks really good and it's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, that's to bring it back to Mafia. Like, I was interested in the game, and then when I picked it up was when it was already like deep dive. I got it Black Friday, like a deluxe edition. I think I got a collector's edition that was just sitting on like a GameStop shelf for like fucking $25 or something crazy, real cheap.
Mafia
and so it was just like,
at one point.
It didn't hurt me. It wasn't one of those things where I'm like, God, I paid full price for this. Patches had already happened, so it was like, it's kind of like talking about like Cyberpunk, you know, like once all the pieces got put into place, then it was like, I'm glad I waited a year or whatever it took to play the better version of this game.
Yep. And that's kind of where I am. I know I'm probably going to eat these words, and I'm okay. I do it all the time. But that's kind of where I am with GTA. Like, I don't want to play the worst version of that game.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
You know, I really don't, because that's going to be like such a marquee for me. I just don't know if I can hold on outside the FOMO long enough to actually wait it out. But I'm going to try.
I'm playing that day one.
Yeah, I know. And I know most people are, and I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Wait. I legit can't wait for that one.
And the only caveat is we don't know what they've been building that game for. Maybe it runs great on PlayStation 5 and Series X. Like, we're all assuming that it doesn't based on past history, but we don't know that. Maybe they've been building for these spec machines the whole time, and maybe it's fine. Maybe there is a performance mode that runs at 60, and maybe there's a ray tracing mode that runs at 30, and maybe it has those things. But if it's like 900p and it struggles to hold 30, and it's, you know, like it just, if it just can't run on this hardware, but they put it on there anyway, I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to play that.
That makes sense.
I'm hoping at the very least there's a 1080p 60 mode. And if there is, then I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it and play that for sure.
Yeah. Big Nick asks, I hear the next Far Cry will have a time limit to complete story missions. Is this a good or bad thing? I didn't hear this, but
we talked about this last year. This is old
news.
News. No offense to you or Nick, but I mean, this is some time now. This has been known.
What does he mean? Like, there's a ticker on the screen,
so
and you got like,
sort of. Here's how this works. We talked about this last year. The concept for the next, I believe, the single player Far Cry game is that your family gets abducted.
Oh, yeah.
And you have so long to rescue them. And I believe the ending changes based on where you finish the timer. So like if you get 3 of 4 of them, you get a different ending. If you get 4 or 5 of them, you get a different ending. If you get them all, you get a different ending.
So they say you got 24 hours to finish this in the game, 24 hours. And if I finish in 12,
I think in the game it's 72 hours, and I think like what that translates to like playtime, I think it's 24 like real world hours to rescue all 5.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. And then where you are in that arc.
Yep,
I love that concept.
I don't hate it either, because I think that's a long time, and I think it adds a little bit of replayability. But when this came out, there were a lot of people, and I think we were even pretty bullish on it too. Like, but like the thing that I keep in my head, I keep going back to is knowing Ubisoft, they're very good at putting in like quality of life features. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a way to bypass this or extend it. Also though, like with Far Cry games, like they always have lots of different like ending scenarios that you can do. Like you can just like finish Far Cry 5 in 5 minutes if you want. You could drive off the end of the map, and like there's lots of, so like to me, like this is kind of in that. But also, like, without playing the game, like, we don't know that when people hear it, timer, I think they're like, I'm going to be rushed. We don't know that you're going to be rushed. Maybe that's plenty of time to beat it.
Yeah. That's
like maybe you could beat it with time to spare if you wanted to. Like, we don't know.
Yeah. One thing that the Far Cry games, as they've improved over time, does really well is the sort of in-game, like, notification communication where they call you on the phone, they get you on the walkie-talkie. That sort of drives the narrative. So I can see you're playing the game, and then the kidnapper.
I think that's the idea, is to add tension, to add urgency, to make it feel like you have to rescue. You can't just like go hunt tigers for 4 hours. Like,
it's like remember how the last one was like, wasn't it sending you like text messages and emails like in real life, like, hey, you got to come back. Like, this shit is going down. We're getting bombed. And it's like, okay, I got to get back in. So I can see that sort of extending beyond where it's like, I have your daughter. If you don't get back on in like 2 hours,
We
you
might hate it.
do again.
We might hate it, but like,
Yeah, true.
we have no idea.
I
We
kinda
haven't
like it
seen
for
it.
the
It's
tension.
just
I like
being
it.
reported, so I don't want to hate it at face value. I don't want to hate it
Yeah.
just because of this.
Yeah, what if you wait like a certain period of time and they just start sending your family members body parts? That'd be cool as fuck.
That's kind of where I'm thinking. Like, what if they start threatening you, or like, what if you miss out on a time like for a certain region, and you you witness one of them just get, you know, like, oh shit, I hate these guys.
That would be cool.
But there is something like that, you know.
Or like how Devin was saying, they send you a hand and they're like, "We told you.
Yeah,
you should have been here
and
last
like, what
night."
if that region just goes black and you're just out of that region? You can't go back anymore.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. Like, I think there's something to that, and I do think it adds a lot of replayability. You know, like maybe it's almost like a very long roguelite. Could be fun.
Would it be a cool thing?
Because I can see it being like a version of, was it Far Cry 3, where everyone was like getting picked off by like the locals on the island or something?
I think so, yeah.
So in that sort of same vein, but now with like an extra layer, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty rad.
It'd be cool if they make it so you can't save everybody.
Yeah.
Like you have
gotta
to either
pick
go
and
save
choose each
this
play.
person
Yes.
or that person.
So that's where kind of my head was when we first talked about it. I was thinking like that.
It's your wife or your daughter, and you're like,
exactly.
And maybe you get different endings based on who you can save, like on that run.
I'd be like, this bitch always complaining, so she can die.
But there is a part of me, you know, the Far Cry that I do like that I can like just go fishing and stuff if I want to. Or like I can spend 4 hours like unlocking safe houses all day if I want to, you know, doing stuff like that. And maybe you can't do a lot of that in this game, and that would be kind of a bummer for me because that's some of my favorite stuff to do.
But it might be the mechanic to just draw you back in too, where it's just like,
maybe
you're doing the towers, you're doing the, you know, freeing the bases or whatever, and they're like, by the way, there's a fucking main story here. Get back in.
The thing in my head was, I don't think the Far Cry 5, I didn't finish 3, I didn't like 4, but I finished 5 multiple times, New Eden and 6. I don't think any of those campaigns took me longer than 24 real world hours to beat. So if they're like a similar size game, 24 hours seems like a pretty decent amount of time to give somebody to beat a campaign.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent. When's this supposed to, any timelines for this? Like when's it supposed to be coming out?
I expect that we'll get a Far Cry announcement by the end of the year.
I hope so.
They have multiple Far Cry games in the works. They have a multiplayer Far Cry game and they have a single player Far Cry game, and I think that multiplayer joint's coming first.
Ugh.
So I think that might be what we get first. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not an insider, but I don't expect it at E3. It could be, but I'm not expecting it just because I think they have a lot to talk about already.
Well, Summer's Game Fest, right?
So they've got Star Wars.
Yeah, it was like E3. Damn, it really did not getting
it. Everybody knows what I mean. Everybody knows what I mean. That the showcase, the summer showcase.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've got Star Wars. There's an Assassin's Creed coming out later this year. They've got the Rogue of Persia or whatever they're calling that game. Like, it feels like a lot for what they've typically done. They typically don't have like 5-8 games. They usually have like 3 or 4. So like I'm not expecting Far Cry to be at that show, but I do think if they hold a fall showcase, Game Awards, right around that time is probably the right time to introduce folks to a Far Cry. But I will leave room that I think they could tease it. They could be like, the next Far Cry game is in, you know, they could show us a trailer or like a symbol, you know, a start screen or something. They could do something like that.
Yeah. Show us the bad guy.
But I think it's next year. Ultimately, all of that to say, I think we're getting a new Far Cry game next year.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm with it.
All right. Our next question from WFOD. He says, I like the Fallout TV show. Are the games worth going back and playing?
My answer is, why risk it? You have something you like. Why leave it up to chance? Like the show and enjoy it, man.
I like the games. I think they're pretty fun. I think probably Fallout 4 is the most accessible to play. I don't know if, like, you can kind of play Fallout 4 without the VAT system. It's not great, but it's better than what 3 is.
What's the VAT system?
People love 3.
3 is the best
hearing
one.
You say that, I imagine people are screaming in their cars. Like,
but people
love
the VAT shooting in Fallout is terrible unless you use the VAT system.
Correct.
The VAT system is the thing that you use to like the target enemies and stuff like that.
Bullet
Chalfie?
time, you slow
Bullet
down.
time almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 makes it a little bit more accessible to shoot. It's a little bit better. You still have VATs, but you can kind of aim.
Because I've only played a little bit of 4 and what was the other one? 76?
76, yeah.
76.
Like only a little bit of
76.
Only a little bit of each. And I want to see how, if the series hooks me, then I might. So this question is actually something that's been on my mind, is that if I enjoy the series, then I might go back into one of the Fallout games to try it out. But then it's, which one do I do?
I think you should. See,
I
Lil
don't.
Snow said the same thing. Fallout 4
But I
is
also
better
like what
engine.
Donnie's saying though too. He's like, if you're like this, let it be.
That is.
I mean, like I'm not a hater. I don't mind anybody liking Fallout. I've never particularly enjoyed playing the Fallout games. The most I've played of a game was New Vegas, which I think I got into like a weekend back in the day. But like I've never really played them for very long because I've never really enjoyed playing them. I don't think they're like super fun to play. So yeah, they're definitely not my type of game.
I like them, and I think Lord Snurf just kind of summed it up best. Fallout 4 is the better engine, but 3 and New Vegas have the best writing. So there you go.
Which one
I
is
liked
the
Vegas a
shortest?
little bit back in the day.
None of them. Maybe
None of
New
them are
Vegas-
short.
None of them are short.
Well, New Vegas
is
was like a spin-off, so it's probably the shortest I've had to guess.
but even that was long.
Fallout Shelter is the shortest.
Yes.
Isn't that one where it's like just managing the little characters?
That is correct.
You can play on Switch. I would recommend you play for 76. I don't know why. I know Coach Mo loves it. And that game had a real turnaround. Like that game came out and people hated it and it was dead forever and people were so mad. And then
It
like
really picked
over
up.
the years, it really turned around. People love that game. So
Yeah.
I'm just that'll be my vote
That is
since
true.
somebody brought it up. I say 76.
I'm with that.
There you go. You'll never play that, Chaffee.
Probably
But
not.
like the thing
That's
that I
true.
remember is like Mo said that like when new players show up, that like players just like give them free supplies and stuff to like help them get going. It sounds like very communal and
That's really like
welcoming.
Fallout.
Like they don't just kill you and take all your stuff. They're like, Coach Mo was like, I watched him stream it and he's like leaving bottles and stuff and care kits for people, like welcoming them to the game and stuff. I was like, that's dope.
That is cool.
That's
super
kind of
fun.
wild.
Not like the GTA universe. They'll fuck you up. You come
Yeah,
in.
take all your
Yeah.
shit.
You go
Like
into
with your
GTA, you immediately get blown up with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yes, pretty much. All right. Our next question from Kyle the fucking pug. Fuck you, Kyle the pug.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Go Dodgers.
Go yours.
He asks, what's a bad habit you personally have when you're playing any game?
When I'm playing a game,
Mine is before I play a game, I exhaustively go through the entire settings. Always. Every game I play, big or small, indie or AAA, when I hit a start screen, before I do anything else, I immediately go to the settings and just see what options are there to turn. So my go-tos, turn off film grain, turn off motion blur. Like I have like certain ways that I want to experience games, and I usually go, I instead of like going through the tutorial of the game, I almost always look at the controls before I even start the game. If there's a controls option in the settings, I'm going to study that for a minute. So I kind of do that all the time.
I think my bad habit is buying a game, loading it up, and then not playing it for like 3 weeks.
That's pretty
Consistently do that.
pretty obvious. I do that too.
I break shit a lot. That's another thing about me. Like I'll jump on anything that I can jump on. You know, I almost play things like with like a game tester type mentality.
Mhm.
And like I'm always like, can I do that? Can I get up there?
Yeah. Can I
you know,
climb
like-
this?
Yeah. Even if I can fudge it, like even if you can't climb, like Skyrim, like, can I hop up that? Like, can I side hop up that? Can I make it up there? I do that shit a lot. And sometimes, like a lot of times it'll lead me to Horizon. The first Horizon was terrible for this because I started streaming it and I got stuck like 8 times. I was like, this is the buggiest fucking game. And I remember when you get to the first town with Aloy, somebody makes a speech or something like on this platform in the town, and you watch it's like a cutscene. And after the cutscene, I wanted to jump up there, and there's steps, and I went to and you couldn't walk up the steps. I was like, why have the steps here if you can't walk?
Yeah, I can't
Why
do
do we
this.
make steps? So Dev hates that about me, is that I'm very exhaustive in that regard.
Oh yeah, in a game, another thing I'll do that's a bad habit is not use whatever is
People
the
don't like my
vehicle.
settings.
You know, like if it's like, oh, ride the horse or get the car, I'm always walking everywhere, and then I'm super pissed that I'm
Depends on how
like.
good the driving is. I'm that way in Far Cry because I don't like the first person driving a whole lot.
But then I'm
I don't
frustrated
either.
because I'm like, why am I still fucking walking? And then it's like,
I do
I'll
the same
find out
thing in
later.
Halo. I hate driving the Warthog stuff. I hate the driving controls in Halo.
I just realized what mine is, and it's just a bad habit of mine. Constantly saving.
Oh,
Just-
I think it's a
just-
good habit.
Just saving
Yeah.
for no
Seriously.
reason. Start the game, I
But
save.
Grew up in the NES era.
Start the game, I save. Walk 5 steps. Oh, time to save.
Save.
Yep.
Mhm. Sneeze, save, eat a chip, save.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
never
thing.
know what's going to happen. Especially in Florida, you get a little hurricane come through, a little twister, no
That's the
power.
NES era. That's an old
Mhm.
showing.
Yeah, except NES era, then you had to write that long ass fucking code of letters and numbers. And then if you messed up and you're like, was this a 0 or was it
Oh,
because
shit.
the 0 had a slash? And so it's like, is that an 8 or is that a 0? What is this?
Yeah, because the numbers all looked all weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be an S?
Yeah.
Or
Why are
eight?
we is this a semicolon? What is this?
Another bad habit of mine, especially for like big cinematic games, is I will pretty much sometimes like judge if I like a character or not, and then I skip everything they say. I'm like, dude, nobody fucking cares. I don't want to ever hear you
Yeah.
talk again. And just like skip right over all that. Like, let's get on. Let's
Straight
get
up.
past this. I don't even like you. You know.
I have been known to say in my house, this motherfucker's talking again. Because I'm just like, I don't want to hear you.
Yeah.
They're like, who are you talking to? This guy.
Yeah.
God damn. Always saying dumb shit.
Yeah, never shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Ryan asked, what are your top 3 or 5 games to play the rest of this year?
I don't even think I played 2 games this year. I've been slow. I've been having a real rough game.
Exciting.
year.
I'm almost more excited to hear your guys' answers. So I think I can come up with mine pretty easily, but
Now, I'm assuming this is for the rest of the year, not like what we've already played.
correct. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, so the new Ninja Turtles roguelike
A little
game
harder.
that's coming out in this July.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that looks cool.
I think it looked cool, but people said it's like Hades, and I was like, oh, never mind. I don't want to play Hades games.
Looks,
Is it a
I'm gonna try.
roguelike?
I think it is roguelike. Because there's one coming out. There's literally one
I'm
coming
out.
out next week. There's
Never
another
mind, I'm
Ninja
out.
Turtles game come out next week. And at first when I saw, I thought it was that one, but it's not that one. It's a whole different one.
Oh, this is hard. Never mind. I take this back. This is hard to
So
come up with.
the Ninja Turtles one, Star Wars Outlaws, and yeah, one more. What else comes out this year?
A lot. That's the problem I'm running into.
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
trying to think. What else comes out this year?
Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now. I'm like,
Outlaws. Outlaws doesn't make the cut. And I don't even know
Oh,
if these are.
Skull and Bones.
No, absolutely not. No fucking way. Stellar Blade would be added on, but it's coming out next week. So I gotta wait for that.
All right, so I wrote down Hellblade, Space Marine 2, Shadows of the Dam, Lollipop Chainsaw, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid comes out. So Metal Gear Solid. That's
But-
3.
I'm leaving off Creed. I'm leaving off like Replaced, Routine, Stalker 2, Still Wakes the Deep. Like there's so many games. So, and I don't even know if they're coming out. So I don't know. But I feel good. You know what? I feel really good about those 4. Hellblade, Space Marine 2, Shadows of the Dam, Lollipop Chainsaw. Really good with
Okay.
those 4.
Hellblade, yeah. And Silent Hill.
Yeah. That Silent Hill game's coming out. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I think I can only go with just like what I have on deck. I really don't have anything else I'm looking forward to, but it's like taking a long time, slowly working my way through Tears of the Kingdom. I still have the
Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I still have Cyberpunk like the DLC loaded up. I just haven't played it yet.
Thousand Year Door?
What was the last Star Wars game that came out?
Jedi
Jedi
Survivor.
I have that one loaded up. I haven't played it.
I'm
So-
stoked for Thousand Year Door, but I don't know if it's cracks my top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's just probably right behind those. Metal Gear Solid Delta, I'm pretty jazzed about. That sounds
I am
awesome.
too.
And I think I will be for Creed too. Creed Red, that's going to be awesome.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a ninja game, right? Assassin's Creed Red. It's what we've always wanted. Assassin's
think
Creed
so, yeah.
Japan. Yeah, like, I think when we see that's going to be huge. No Thousand Year Door for you, Javi?
Because this one was out before, right?
Yes.
That's GameCube.
Yeah, I've already played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the best Paper Mario game.
No, I love the Paper Mario games. They're so much fun. Like, I really enjoy them. And yes, I'm definitely playing these 2023 games. I'm so far behind.
That's smart.
Yeah, very smart.
But I've been trying to be smarter about like the games that I buy. So instead of doing day ones, I'm really getting them down the road where then I'm
Yeah,
like,
because you get the patch version, the DLC. Like,
yes.
If I had waited on Prince of Persia, you could play all the DLC and stuff in one swoop as opposed to trying to pick it up 10 months down the road.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia is dope too, by the way. It's really good, guys.
It is.
What really guided me was, as I mentioned, like the bad habit. Like I'm loading up game, like I'm buying games, getting them ready to rock and roll, and then just not playing
Because
them.
buying games is fun. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. Buying shit is the best, and some of the hunt is finding the deal, finding like a best combo. And so I'm like, you know what? I just need to give it time because I can get more bang for my buck.
Yep.
And then I get to it when I get to it. So I've
you,
kind of been following that route.
I've only played 5 hours, so I'm scratching the surface. But if it keeps going the way I'm going, Unicorn Overlord, probably one of the better games I've played this year. And it's on everything, right? I'm not sure how many people know that. It's not like a Switch exclusive.
Yeah, it's everything.
I'll 100% expect that will show up to like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. And then you guys are going to be able to play a really fun game. If you're into that sort of game, not everybody's down for, a Fire Emblem thing, but like it's so beautiful. Like it's really nice on the Switch OLED screen. It's so pretty. So it's really nice. I like that one. It's a good year. I think it's a bit of a bang up year for games. Hoping we get a Wind Waker in here. Like that. I kind of wanted to put that in my top 5 because that would be my 5th game. And that'd be crazy because my top 5 games, like 4 of them would be remasters. It'd be like remasters and Space Marine.
Our next question from Lord Snurts. Who would win in a celebrity deathmatch style fight between Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo exclusive characters?
This is easy. There's only one answer for this. 100%. It's canon. It's respected. I'm surprised we even got the question because everybody should know the answer to this. Nobody ever defeats Kirby ever.
See, because my answer was going to be Nintendo, for sure. Yeah.
But it's Kirby.
Yeah, it's Kirby.
He's the fucking Super Saiyan of video game characters. He's a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
He's unstoppable. Like Smash has settled this. It's canon. Mm-hmm. He is the best. He's the best of us. All people. People are like Kratos. Kratos couldn't touch Kirby. Like literally wouldn't land a blow. He'd be gone.
Kirby would eat Kratos, and that's it.
Right? Yeah. He's the fucking Thanos of this universe.
Yes.
The eater of worlds.
He's like, your mistake was moving in my direction because now done.
Yeah, and he's like, boo, you hit him and what happens? You and just pops back out. Like, what are you gonna do to him?
Yeah. He's like, I may look cute.
Yes, John.
I'm fucking vicious.
It's Kirby. Go watch Smash commercials. This has been proven for decades. Yep. It's Kirby.
The fuck Master Chief's gonna do to Kirby?
Nothing.
Nothing.
None of them.
Gun.
Xbox has got a bunch of guys with guns.
You're bringing a gun to a celestial fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of y'all have never finished a Kirby game, and it shows.
Yeah.
Y'all need to see the galactic of epic proportion angels and demons fights that Kirby goes on, man.
Yeah. You kind of Kirby. It's Kirby.
It's Kirby.
Kirby is the definition of fuck around and find out.
Yeah. 100%.
He's like, sure.
Now, if you want to make it fair, you want to make it fair, remove Kirby from the situation and then have the talk. You know, it's like Captain Marvel. It just shows up and wrecks everything. You're like, well, now none of this makes sense.
And even then, it probably still wouldn't be Xbox.
It would still be Nintendo.
Probably
Sure.
still be Nintendo. Be closer. Be a lot closer.
So no Kirby out of the way. Who's kicking ass?
Kratos is hard to get killed. Kratos is really hard.
Kratos is a human though.
Well,
You can shoot him.
demigod. He's a god.
Right, but physically can be hurt.
He can be hurt, but he's a god.
Like
so-
if Phoenix is over there with a lancer just pumping shells, like what's Kratos?
I don't know if that would kill him. If bullets would kill Kratos.
We've never seen him get shot, right? He just takes physical pummeling, but like,
Huh.
has he been stabbed?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Like, what happens
He's
if you cut
been
off his
worse,
arm?
like this stabbed and stuff like that. He's been thrown off cliffs and shit like that. I think he has been stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He has been stabbed. Didn't
it's pretty tough.
Ares stab the god of war?
Is Kratos the best that PlayStation has to offer?
I would think so.
Is it Abby?
John 32 and is just picking
Because-
the shit out of
because-
Kratos. Just at least.
Because,
There you go.
because just like
Kratos.
that could work. Because just like Xbox, PlayStation has a bunch of dudes, like dudes and girls who
Mhm.
can fight cool.
Yeah,
That's
Xbox
cool.
though has the spiders from Grounded. That's pretty
Oh,
fucking serious.
you know what I just thought about? Fucking Spider-Man. That's fucking PlayStation.
Oh come on,
But it is. It's Sony.
No,
Okay, so
that doesn't
in
work.
this battle,
Abby would kick Spider-Man's ass.
Absolutely not.
Y'all are too fucking hot to trot over Spider-Boy.
No. Spider. There are two. One. There's two of them.
She
That's
would
the problem.
choke them out with one hand.
No, she wouldn't.
Like fucking Taker. Like, come on.
No, she wouldn't.
Kratos would smash Spider-Man.
But they're working together.
He'd smash them both.
They're
These are
working
not the same thing.
But
He's
they're
swinging
working
around and just
together.
getting
That's the
Mjolnir
problem.
upside the head.
It's not
Nobody's ever
Sony
hit
versus
Spider-Man
it's
with a
not-
hammer to the side of the face.
It's not Sony versus Sony. It's Sony versus Xbox and Nintendo.
Kid Icarus would kick Spider-Man's ass.
No, absolutely not.
I think so.
Absolutely not.
Mega Man.
Nah.
No.
Mhm.
who gets
Really on the
Bayonetta
Spider-Man thing,
in
I'm
this?
telling you, outside of this Marvel thing, it's not all that hot.
I think Kratos would have to fight Bayonetta. That's a good matchup.
But who would get Bayonetta?
Nintendo owns Bayonetta.
Nintendo.
But Bayonetta's appeared in other areas, like
They,
other.
Yeah,
in the
but
past,
they-
they publish that game now. Like they own the
Yes.
franchise. And Bayonetta would whoop Spider-Man's ass.
That would be a closer battle. Yeah, that would be
No, it
different. But my
He
whole thing
summons
is
demons from hell, man.
Right.
he-
Spider-Man's.
Just with her hair,
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
you're superhero. I get it. Like your
Spider-Man-
superheroes have no power here. Like these aren't the droids you're looking for.
To be fair, I don't want to spoil Spider-Man 2. I will leave it at that.
Oh, I still need to play that too. Fuck.
See, I can't spoil it then.
Someone buy that for me. Send it
No.
to
No.
Absolutely not.
me.
Oh god. John 32. Mario Golf versus Joel.
We have a winner. That is
Damn.
the answer. Well,
Someone on the
Nintendo
internet
wins.
needs to recreate that scene with just fucking Mario going wild with a golf club.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did that.
I feel
That
like
would
I'm
be
forgetting
perfect.
somebody like clearly, and I just can't remember.
Hellblade.
Senua. I mean, she's just a like I
She's
don't
been
think
good,
Senua.
but
she's just-
that's my thing with
Right.
Xbox. But you know
She's not
what?
trying.
Shit,
I mean, Master
I just
Chief
thought
is a
about it.
super soldier.
I just thought about it.
Who, Dave
Fucking
the Diver?
Xbox owns fucking Activision
Yeah. And Bethesda.
and Bethesda,
Own
so that kind of
Doomguy
changes
and all that
things.
shit. Yeah.
That kind of changes a lot. I just thought about that.
Mhm.
Fuck.
100%.
Ooh. Like the Xbox has a whole bunch of random ass characters who are powerful as shit.
Correct.
Ooh. Now I'm trying to think. I didn't take that into consideration.
But Nintendo without Kirby, they are limited. They have Star Fox and
Mario has Toon Force. Mario's ridiculous. He can do anything.
that's true. Mario, let's get 80 Mario show up.
And Link.
Profession. Do they have Mike Tyson?
I would say yes.
Right? Like Nintendo has Mike Tyson by proxy. Here comes
Yeah.
Mike.
They have Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I don't know. But the answer is Kirby. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but the answer is
Yes.
Kirby.
Yeah.
The answer is Kirby.
The answer is Kirby. Oh, you're doing questions. You have the next one.
Yeah. All right. Barrett33 asks, if Microsoft had to cut something from Game Pass to save money, which would you rather see go? EA Play Access or day-and-date third-party titles? Not indies. I'm just talking about games like Lies of P, Wulong, and Outriders.
EA Play.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer too.
It's an easy
That
one.
was kind of like my initial response was EA Play.
Because one, none of those games show up day and date anyway.
Yeah.
They just come to the vault. So like Avium is not even in there yet, right? Two, it's a really cheap subscription. So like the people that would be upset about it could also just subscribe to EA Play like on its own. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, EA Play. I don't give a fuck about that.
I don't think anybody does because it's not day and date. Right? If it was day and date in the Game Pass, it'd be awesome.
I don't even think I
But
use
it's not.
EA Play
You got to
on Game
wait
Pass.
6 months to play Madden. You got to wait 6 months to play fucking PGA Tour game that sucks. You know?
Yeah. After all the hype has died. No,
Yeah,
and no
after all the
one's
hype
like,
has died, it's not that great.
Yeah.
So
All right. I was going to save this question for Dev, but I think it'd be more fun just to answer it now to fuck him over. I think I like this question. Yarden asked, I love these lists, so please decide on the unanimous top 5 coolest people who've ever lived list. Can include anyone living or not.
I'm glad y'all are here because this feels like a straight up Chalfie question. Because when he asked this last week, I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't think I see people like this.
Jimi
This
Hendrix
one's
has
tough.
to go on the list.
what are we talking? Where's the cool coming from? Like, I need some more
It's from me.
parameters because that's huge. Like, there's a lot of cool people.
Yeah, just in general, like I would say style, whatever they do in their career, just some people who exudes coolness.
Who's the cool?
So when you think
motherfucker?
of cool, you think of this person.
Yeah,
and when
I'm
I think
like,
of
yeah,
cool,
that person,
Jimi
mad
Hendrix
cool.
comes up.
Oh,
First-
you know, if we're just talking like this fool is
Bruce
cool. Lenny Kravitz.
That's another one.
That's a
But
cool
I feel like
motherfucker right there.
like him and Jimi Hendrix in the same vein.
I would go for that. I would go for that.
So do we add both of them?
Do you guys see that video where he was like doing the curl ups with the weights in fucking leather pants and a mesh shirt? I was like,
Yeah.
man, how you gonna be 60 years old doing this bullshit?
Yeah.
Stop
Donnie
it.
said Bruce Lee. What do you think about Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee. No.
That's a solid choice.
To evoke our early conversation before we went live, Quentin Tarantino.
Nah, he's
No.
dorky. He's dorky.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
He's not cool.
And this is why I don't think I'm good for this
He
conversation. I think
does
most
weird
fans
shit.
would be this.
Like he does like weird dorky shit.
He's eccentric,
Yes,
but
eccentric.
not cool. Like when I'm thinking cool, it's like everybody wants to fuck this person.
Yeah.
Like when they
I
come in
think-
the room, they change the game.
I think Bruce Lee fits in that category because his coolness, he's so cool. People were inspired by him. Like they're like
People were
who
inspired, but I'm going to debate this. People were inspired by his ability,
That's true.
but he
I just
didn't have room. Like he didn't come into the room cool.
You ever seen him interview?
He was quiet. Yeah, I've seen him. It's
Yeah, but
still
he
not
talks
cool.
though.
Yeah, he talks cool.
Yeah.
People wear like clothes with his shirt, his pictures on it and shit like that. He exudes a certain coolness about
I
him.
mean, people still wear fucking Elvis and Marilyn Monroe, but like,
Elvis is
is
not
it
cool.
cool? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Not your
it's
generation.
different.
Well, it is your generation. You are Elvis's generation, but
No, Elvis is not cool.
So I think being like a culture.
So
is
we
he a
got Lenny
culture-
Kravitz.
Separate category is culture icon. Is he a culture icon? Yes. Is he cool? Nah, I don't go with
Okay.
that.
Lenny. So we
Nah.
got Lenny Kravitz for sure, and we got Jimi Hendrix. Those two for
Mhm.
sure, right?
Mhm.
Those are
Ooh,
two.
this
blocks.
is a good one. Let's debate
Yeah,
this
pick
one. Keanu Reeves. Is he cool?
That's a good one.
that's
You
a
know
good
what?
one. I like that one.
I would put him on the list. Yeah. I think Keanu's cool.
But why?
He has an aura about him. Just a certain aura that just feels like he cares, but he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And and anytime he's in stuff, he kind of like, even if he's not the main character, he steals the show.
Coolest motherfucker ever? Prince.
That's a good one.
Prince, hands down. Like I think we've all seen the video, because what made me think of him was like they sort of appear in a room and disappear in a room. And if you've ever seen him do that video of My Guitar Gently Weeps, or he just like plays the raddest solo ever, throws his guitar in the air, and it like just disappears.
Your pick's so far, minus Keanu, is that you're almost exclusively saying that coolness is related to music.
A lot of times it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like because music is
I don't think that's true. I think a lot of times it is in the last 30 years. There's thousands of years to pick from here, man.
Yeah. Well, but that's why I'm
talking about people that conquered the world, and you're like, yeah, but Prince played a guitar well. In comparison, those don't really sound.
But conquering the world,
that doesn't sound all that relatable.
How many people you think conquer the world? You think is like that motherfucker's cool? Like I wouldn't call.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Cool.
I'm just.
I wouldn't think George Washington cool.
I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah.
The difference here.
Well, but that's why I was saying.
You don't think Edison was fucking cool?
No.
Dude literally invented so much technology you use today. That just means he's the smartest fucking person on the planet.
That doesn't mean he's
cool. I think at the time he was pretty fucking cool.
No, I don't think he's cool.
Well, you're sitting in your house with no lights on.
I think he's smart. I think he's a genius. I don't think that.
I don't know. Cool. This feels very. And this is where I was in my head.
Like was he neck deep in cooch?
This is why I don't think I was very good at maybe this question, because I feel like your slant on this is so pop culture focused.
But right? Coolness is based off of that.
Missing, but it's not. It is for the last 20 years, 30 years. But it's not all humanity's. He said all time. You're talking about something that just existed since the 80s.
But do you think people during Ben Franklin's time and Thomas Jefferson's time thought he was cool?
I don't know.
Thought he was a genius.
Yeah. I'm not that well versed.
Yeah,
they didn't have no like BuzzFeed in like 1800.
Yeah,
right. Like you know, I don't know.
I think this is a good question because it opens the debate, but it's also what I was saying earlier. There's not enough parameter in it, and my frame of reference is
Beethoven. Beethoven was cool as fuck. That I do know. Everybody loved that man.
Beethoven,
They boated him all over the fucking place to play piano.
Yeah,
Beethoven would be cathedrals and shit everywhere.
Beethoven
he was
touring,
super cool.
and people were touring to him. Like
Beethoven can be considered cool.
Yes,
that one.
And that's what I think. I just think like outside the box, it may be a little bit, or not outside the box, outside the time frame.
Yeah,
like I'm trying to move myself from like the rock and roll era of 1960 to modern day.
Yeah. You see, and I'm only going more, that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm just going on like what I see, what I've experienced to be like, this is the cool. Because I think it's also the time shift is different too. What was it like then? I don't know.
Exactly. It is hard to pull like what was.
If y'all want to go back all the way, like back to Beethoven to go before that, then I'm gonna ask the question then. Jesus.
I mean, he wasn't a real person. So
no, Jesus was 100% a real person.
Walking on water, fucking sandals, turning water
Harry Potter books, man. What are you talking about?
Sounds like a dude you'd want to hang out with.
If you want to say if you want to say he was a Nigerian scammer or not, I don't know. But he 100% was a real person. Like he's in history books. He was a real person.
I mean, the white guy with the long hair?
I don't know if he was that. But I would think people went around the world. People traveled to go see him and stuff like that. And
yeah,
very popular amongst the ladies, especially ladies in the night. Yeah.
I mean, he did like kicking it with hoes.
He might be cool.
He liked to kick it with his homies, have like a big dinner party.
Well,
maybe.
I'm just Googling things for ideas. What about either Al Capone or Pablo Escobar?
Al Capone definitely is cool.
Now, is he cool by what media has made him cool, or was he cool?
I think people consider Al Capone cool.
Because I don't know if he was cool, but I tell you this, I definitely think Pablo Escobar was cool.
I think Pablo Escobar.
Man owned islands, was throwing parties, and I bet he was a good time.
Yeah. That's hard. I can't think. I don't know which one I would pick. Because both of them are cool in their era.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man.
That is true.
We didn't even say Rick James. How dare us?
Well, that's a good one. That's an excellent one. The Rock would be considered cool too, John 32. I think that's a good one. I think Rock's cool for this generation.
The Rock is corny as fuck, dude.
People think
Coolest
he's cool.
person?
The Rock in real life, come on.
People think he's cool.
I'm gonna go with the person who invented tacos. That dude's cool.
People do.
Taco Bell.
Not Taco Bell.
The Taco Bell dog.
You would say that. Racist.
And we all know Delvin's favorite president, Reagan.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Damn, not the boogeyman.
I have one, Donnie.
Mm.
What about Michael Jordan?
No, I don't think Michael Jordan's cool.
He's a dick.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
But people who are assholes are kind of considered cool in some cases.
No, I don't think so.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Are you an icon or are
He's
you
popular.
Cool? You
He's
could be both.
That's not cool. That's not cool. That's just popularity.
Yeah.
Madonna was cool.
Madonna was cool. I would say Madonna's cool.
Very cool.
I wouldn't say Michael Jackson's cool.
That's
I
a good
love
one,
Michael
actually.
Jackson.
He was pretty until it was tarnished. But before the tarnishing, Michael Jackson was pretty damn cool. Like everybody wanted to hang out with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I think he was legendary. I don't know if I would say cool.
I'll go with that. I'll go with legendary.
Oh, I mean, John 32 brings up Taylor Swift. Do you think Taylor Swift's cool?
Hell no.
I'm not answering that
I
question.
bet she kind of is. I bet she is like off. If you could just get her one-on-one, I bet she is pretty cool.
I'm not answering that question.
You'd almost have to be that successful.
No, I would firmly disagree with that.
I don't think Drake's cool. Like you tell me, like I don't think Drake's cool. I think Drake is just
John 32 positions Neil deGrasse Tyson. They already ruled out dorks are not allowed to be cool, apparently.
No, seriously. No.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
No.
One of the factors in this, and he would probably agree because it's not in the equation, is does get hoes? If the answer is no,
that
cool.
is part of the equation. You have to be likable to the opposite sex by a lot.
That's sex appeal. What if you're
sex appeal plays in the coolness.
What if you're gay?
On both sides, gay people.
No, there's no matter.
Cool.
You said
get everybody.
sex.
Well, okay.
Wait a minute.
He said opposite sex earlier. I said you come in the room, everybody
same
wants
sex
to be
to all sexes. All sexes. Yeah, Lenny Kravitz fits into that.
Well, it's funny because you guys omitted Elvis pretty quickly, and he might be on the fucking top of that list for
he died on the toilet.
He died on the toilet. Also,
that
he
disqualifies you.
He was a copycat.
Yeah, I don't know if I can vouch for Homie. Homie got a little suspect things in his past. I'm not going there.
You literally said it.
I didn't
I'm
say
not going
what
there.
it
If you
was.
make statements, stupid.
Mozart, Shakespeare.
Mozart probably. Were people like really checking out Shakespeare like that?
Yeah.
John 32 ruined it by saying Shakespeare was a G. Just ruined it now. I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
Now I don't believe it. Now I don't believe it. Now I immediately do not believe
that
it.
also means he doesn't understand what a G is.
Yes.
Shakespeare was a G, man. Shut up.
A lot of these, I don't even think we could even make a case for a lot. I'm just looking through lists of, famous or influential people, and you see things like, a lot of the inventors. It was Steve Jobs. Is that the dork factor? It's one of the most influential people of the last,
I
But
think
again,
Steve Jobs falls into the Jordan category that you guys were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say that because I read his book. I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
some
I'm
things
not
about
a
Steve
pleasant
Jobs.
person
I don't
to
know
be
enough
around.
about folks like that. Or like, I was thinking, oh, dude, Muhammad Ali. Fuck, dude.
That's a good one.
Ali is absolutely, yeah.
I would give him cool.
I would give him cool, yeah.
Sean Connery, T-Life says.
That's a good one. That's a solid one.
007.
All right.
Sean Connery.
I was going through and I'm like, I see like Joan of Arc or Alexander the Great, and I'm like, dude, these people conquered like half of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you think they were cool? It's like a badass.
I typed in the Google search coolest people in history. And these are the people who came up: Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, Galileo, Jesus,
Dude, I
George
bet Einstein
Washington.
was pretty cool.
Einstein probably was. Maybe.
Probably just nobody was
Shakespeare.
on his damn level.
Winston Churchill, Benjamin Franklin,
Dude, Churchill probably. Or at least, maybe not cool, but Winston Churchill was a fucking badass.
Gandhi, Nikola Tesla, Socrates, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and Leonardo da Vinci.
I don't know if you guys know this fun fact about Abraham Lincoln.
Well, by
which
your
is probably
standard,
why-
what about Leonardo DiCaprio? This man has been cleaning up since he was 15. Dude's like 60 and he's still like trotting him out there.
I would say
Model that was by them. I'm using your words.
I'm scared to agree with this.
They're dropping Oscars jokes about how young his date is.
That's why I'm scared to. That's why I'm scared to
Yeah.
agree with this.
They're like, can she even drink, Leo? What the fuck, man?
That's why I'm scared to agree with this, Tony.
And he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, hey, what?
I feel like I'm gonna agree with this, and then I'm gonna come
Gigantic
out
movie star.
like yo. I'm
But I
very
don't
scared to agree with
think-
this.
Yes, he is always dating very beautiful women. I still wouldn't give him the cool. He just doesn't have that factor.
I don't know. I would disagree with you there.
Bill
If you
Murray.
drive a Prius,
Leo
if you
wanted-
drive a Prius, you're not
I
cool.
think if Leo wanted to take you to Vegas for the night, I think you'd be fucking jazzed.
That's different because
No,
he has access. And there's a
Well,
lot of not
think
cool
that's part of
people
it.
with access.
When
But
you
that
guys
doesn't mean
start
you're cool.
talking about
Yeah, his name
your
was
sex
Epstein.
appeal and things like that's a part
Right,
of it.
exactly. Be like, you want to come to my friend's island? Sure. No,
Absolutely
I
not.
do not.
Right.
Hey, we're gonna link up a Diddy real quick. I'm good.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Mm,
Zero.
No Diddy.
Okay.
Tom Cruise is Jack Nicholson.
That's a solid one.
I always thought he was pretty cool. Britney Spears.
Ooh.
Britney Spears, I would put her in the fun category, but not
Fun,
cool.
yeah. I think
She's gone really psycho.
her family ruined her.
Yeah.
Her family fucked her up like really bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Her family and the fame. I mean, fame was fucking huge. How do you handle like being like? That's a different level of no privacy,
My wife
and then
shows
you have
me
no
videos.
control of yourself. Like
Like,
literally,
Yeah.
that's fucked.
Robert Downey Jr.
Kinda, yeah. I think he's
Maybe,
cool.
maybe.
I kinda think Robert Downey Jr. is cool.
All right. Moving on.
Should we move on?
Jennifer Lawrence.
I think she's cool. I think
I do
she's
too.
very cool.
Me too. Anyway,
Can we do one more
next
question?
question.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's
can
do
I
one
read
more
it?
question.
Let me read it.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
This one is from TPR. Says vice of choice if it was your last week on Earth.
I have an answer for this.
Women.
Okay, do it.
You want to go first? Who want to go first?
You said you had an answer. Go.
All of them.
No, that's not the question is which of your choice though.
But see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't have any vices.
So you
So
gotta do
I
one.
feel-
Pick one. Just
That's the
pick
point
one.
of the question.
But my
Yeah.
thing is, why do one when I can just do them all? Like, if I have 1 week left to live,
Okay.
I'm gonna try
So-
one each day.
Okay. So if you're gonna do one each day, what are you doing on Monday,
Cocaine,
That's
Tuesday,
your vice.
shrooms.
Cocaine.
Wednesday?
Trying to think of things I haven't tried yet. Fuck it.
But
Meth.
you haven't tried fucking.
No, I've tried that plenty of times.
Yeah, I was like,
You're
I thought you
just
were going on
exclusively doing drugs. You realize that
Yeah.
vice isn't just drugs.
I'm gonna
Vice
go-
could be anything. that's
I'm trying to think of
addictive.
things I haven't done before. And
yeah. Okay.
I haven't done what?
Hookers,
Well, that'll be the last day.
gambling.
I've gambled before.
Oh, I mean, but like seriously gambling. Like, would you go take out a loan from a loan shark thinking you were going to die? Are you Steve Buscemi in Armageddon? You're like, we're not going to be here anyway. Give me $1 million. Let me go
Yeah,
blow it
fuck it.
on
Mhm.
strippers.
You know what? That's a good idea. I think
You
I'll
know?
take that offer up. Yeah. I feel like you have to do things that you've never done just to see
course.
how it works. Like you have to like, yo, you know,
Mhm.
it's like-
Would you go as a madman? Would you try to rob a bank?
See,
Would
because
you
that was
seek a
going to be.
thrill?
I was going to go crime spree.
maybe.
See,
That was
Yeah,
going to be
I'm
my
trying to
thing.
think outside the box, not just drugs. You could just say
Because
drugs.
crime spree also fits a lot of different things. That means I'm driving like a maniac, might be getting super high, super drunk, like I'm hurting
You're gonna like
people.
blow up something.
Yeah, exactly. I might drive a car into a building. Why not?
What if I
Like-
just became a vigilante for a day?
Just
Just go out there
GTA.
beating the fuck
Yeah.
out of people like I'm Batman.
Mhm.
Just for one day.
Okay, just mad violence all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
don't know.
that.
I think if the end of the world was coming, I don't think I would want to do a lot of drugs because I feel like you're just
Zoned out.
non-coherent for the rest of the time that you do have. Like your time is limited,
Mhm.
unless you just
Yeah.
don't care. You don't want to make like I feel like I would want to make the most of something.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you
because
know.
with that too, if I'm doing the crime spree, I can bring you guys. Like, if you want to join my spree, we can.
Sure.
Let's
Yes.
hijack a plane.
Like,
Like,
I
let's
might-
do some
yeah.
wild shit.
There it is. Like go play Augusta National. Just walk up there and be like, I'm
But-
fucking doing this motherfucker.
Yeah,
This is
right
the-
now.
Whether
is the
you
key.
want to or not.
To clarify
Yeah,
it's
this is
not-
my week. Do
it's
not stop me.
It's not the end of the world. It's our last week on Earth. So
Yeah,
we
last
have-
week on Earth.
so you guys will still have your life to go on if you bring us on the crime spree.
True.
So we still
Good
can go to prison.
Yeah, it's a good point.
No, okay, fair.
You're gonna
fair,
be
fair,
dead.
fair.
Like
Yeah.
the Sky King. You guys seen that story of that dude?
No, I have not. Now I have to look this up.
Well, it's not a happy ending, but this is
Those are the best ones.
It's a YouTube guy. They call him the Sky King. He wanted to kill himself. He was having, he was in a bad place, and he decided he always wanted to fly a plane. He worked in an airport, so he just hijacks a fucking plane, like a big plane, and just starts flying it around the town. And he's up there for hours, doing flips and shit, tilt-a-whirls, like fucking up there playing Star Fox.
Uh-huh.
And the whole time he's talking to the air traffic controller. And he's like, look, man, I'm not in a good place. My family's not going to like this, but like, this is what I wanted to do. And here's how I want to go out. And he put the plane down at the end and he was like, that's it. I'm out.
So
That's
he,
kinda-
in a sense,
That's kind
he,
of fucking cool.
he was just
you
like,
can listen to the conversation. He's completely calm the entire time. He's absolutely
Yeah.
in the moment, knowing exactly. He's like talking to me. He's like, do you think I can do a flip with this? And they're like, that aircraft is not so. And he totally does the whole flip.
they're like, that's a 747. He's
Yeah,
like,
and he does a
I
flip. He does a
mean-
full backflip with the fucking plane.
God,
God, that is fucking cool.
So you see like the TikTok trend of girls asking their husbands, like, if the pilot went out, do you think you could land this plane? And there's lots of guys that are like, yeah. It's like, he's one of those dudes. He's like, yeah, I think he can land it. And he's out there fucking flying that motherfucker.
yeah. Because it's like, for him also, what is he, the sort of fear component is missing.
Correct.
Because it's like, oh, you can't flip that plane. And then he's like, so if I do, I die? I mean, that's
I'm
the
already
point here.
I'm
So,
already here.
okay, let's go.
Let me ask
Let's
the
see
question.
what happens.
The question I should have asked before I said that was freaking cool. Did he hurt anyone in killing himself?
Nope. He
Okay.
took the
I
plane
wanna
completely
make-
by himself. And he made clear to put it down in a uninhabited island.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Then yeah, that's kind of cool. That is legit cool. That's a hell of a way to go out.
Mm-hmm. That's why they nicknamed him the Sky King. That's so funny. A lot of people that take like inspiration from it. Dude, like offed himself by
I don't know if
vigilante.
we
Like,
should do that.
Wow, I'm gonna look this up.
he did this question. Like he answered this question for himself.
That's crazy.
For me, I think I would just live like a mogul. Like I would just run up bills and bills and bills, just being like, yeah, just when I'm gone, you'll just write it off. So I would just like fucking live it up big time.
That
Fucking
could work.
I'd rent like Ferraris, have penthouses, eat the best that I possibly could. Like I would just charge it to the card.
Why not?
Yeah. Take out a big loan, huge interest rate, blow every bit of it.
Fuck it. You only live once. In this case, not long.
You only have 7 days.
7 days.
This dude flew for an hour and 15 minutes. So it wasn't even like he was like up, down.
That is fucking cool.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
wild.
No, it's morbid, but it's cool.
Yeah, it happened in 2018.
Wow.
Mhm. I'm surprised y'all never heard of it.
I never
No,
heard the story.
But yeah, the internet's a big place. But it
true.
was a pretty popular little viral thing that happened. And yeah, you can listen to his conversations with the air traffic controller. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Dude went on his own terms. Now
Mhm.
he also blew up somebody's airplane.
True.
Oh, it's only a plane.
Hopefully it was a Boeing.
It's let's see, McDonnell Douglas. No, that's the F1s.
We still haven't talked with this WNBA stuff, and I did research for it. Can we talk about it so I can get it off my sheets?
Sure.
And I'm going to say the Dev's not here because I think he is like the WNBA of us.
Yes.
But I don't know how much he gets into this stuff.
He doesn't.
Yarden asks, we all know how the NBA works and endorsements, but still, do you think the salary structure should be improved? The number one pick gets $76,000. And the highest paid player is $250,000. I mean, I think this is also like, topical because Caitlin Clark just got picked and we just had like this big WNBA draft. It's like the first WNBA draft that I've ever seen to actually try to make waves. Like there was a lot of media coverage for it and there were a lot of people that got picked. They're calling this like the Melo LeBron draft of like the WNBA, like the D-Wade draft, which it probably is. Or at least that's what they're hoping for.
Because of two most popular players that we've had in the WNBA in a while.
So I did research for this because this always comes up. And I don't know why the WNBA has become the focal point of like the gender gap for athletes, but it has always seemed to be in this space. But I was like, you know what? Like when he wrote the answer, when he wrote the question, Yarden put in this question, I was like, hang on a second. Oh, D-Life says off topic, but Jimmy Butler got an MCL.
I saw that. Oof.
Oh, is he out?
I think he might be out.
Y'all are done. That's it.
Yeah, we're fucked.
I honestly don't think you were making it anyway.
No.
Yeah, they don't seem to have it this year, so that might be better for you. So I sat down that day last week to see if I can't come up with the reasons why this exists. But obviously the answer is yes, they should get paid more than that, I think.
Correct.
But here's what I wrote. In total revenue, last year, the WNBA made $200 million. The NBA, which is how everybody compares this, they go, how can the WNBA player only make this when the NBA player makes this? The NBA generated $10 billion in revenue last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
The change.
It's literally a drop in the bucket. They're not comparable. We're talking millions to billions.
And that's the problem, that people don't kind of equate that.
In 2021, the WNBA changed their CBA, their collective bargaining agreement. And in 2021, for the first year, the WNBA split revenues 50-50 with the teams. It was based on growth targets, but it was the first time. Before, the players were only making about 20%. Now they're making 50%. They also got maternity leave. It doubled the max salaries. They got stay home for off-season bonuses. So one of the things a lot of people don't know, the WNBA season is super short. They only play 40 games.
Yes.
A lot of them they play for European teams in the offseason to make up money. And now in the WNBA for your star players, so like if you don't want your star player to get hurt, like Brittany Griner, you don't want her going overseas, you can actually give them bonuses now that doesn't count against the salary cap to keep them home. So they don't have to make up that money elsewhere. It's not reported as salary, right? So you may make 75 in salary, but you may get 50 grand in the offseason for doing nothing to stay home. So your salary is more like 160 grand. That's something that doesn't go reported. They also got facilities and charters in 2021. It was the first time they didn't have to fly coach. So they have private planes now. The average attendance last year was 25% of the NBA's gate and 25% of the NBA's ratings per game.
Yep.
So they only get 25% of the people that show up to an NBA game to a WNBA game, and only 25% of people watching should, watch the women play. Now, it's not all bad. Last year was up 23% from the season before it. It's the highest season rating since 2008. Last year. And it's growing. Revenue is up 200% in the WNBA since 2018. Also, it should be noted that the WNBA has never turned a profit because every year that they've existed, they've been given a $10 million subsidy to run the league from the NBA. The NBA gives them $10 million. Mm-hmm. So they only pull a revenue if you don't count for the $10 million. If you count the $10 million, even last year being the most that they've taken, they're still short.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's where people kind of lose the argument with that.
It's a losing league. And the league doesn't make money. It's not self-sustainable.
and people have to take certain things into consideration. One, the WNBA has only been around since, and it sounds like a while, but it's not really a while when it comes to sports league, since '97.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's not like the NBA just had their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
so
even with it coming in '97, wasn't it like still then? Like,
Yeah, it wasn't what it is today.
They only have like what 12 teams. They don't even have that many teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
so
little,
they're not
little
even in
different.
all the cities and stuff like that. And
Little-
you got to remember in the NBA, dude, they weren't making a lot of money in the 60s and the 70s, and they were making pennies.
They still had like day jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still
Mhm.
worked.
They still
Exactly.
work. Yeah, it takes time for these type of things to happen. Also, frankly speaking, if you want them to make more money, you have to support the product.
Watch,
Yeah.
buy tickets, buy stuff.
Yeah, you have to buy
Yeah.
stuff. You have to support the product. This year will be the testing ground.
I think
You
so.
have players that you really are like, Caitlin Clark, as everybody's talking about it. Go buy her stuff. Go buy her jerseys. Go support her team.
Yeah,
That's how you
translate
get more
that energy over into
money.
like the majors.
My
'Cause-
thing, my opinion on the WNBA that I've never really find anybody that likes my idea. So I'm this is my hot take. My hot take is I think they should have paired the WNBA teams with existing NBA franchises. I think the difference between
I agree.
women's basketball, I think the reason that women's basketball becomes a draw in college is because fans are already invested in the team.
Yeah.
They know the team. Every time I've brought this up to my basketball friends, they all think this is a terrible idea. But I think the WNBA should have had like the Bulls and the Hawks and the Cavs and the Heat.
I agree.
And I think it gives fans something to root for.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know what's going on, you can get a casual viewership. Nobody knows what the Dream or the Aces and nobody knows the hell that
Yeah.
is. And
'Cause
they're
you
in
can
different
still- you
cities.
could still
They're not even in
buy-
the same cities. They're like in
You can still buy a
Nashville.
Bulls jersey.
Yeah.
100%.
Like
I think
They
there's
probably would
casual
sell more.
crossover there
Mhm.
that they just don't do. I also think the WNBA should incorporate more exhibitions and maybe even make it like an in-season thing with the European clubs.
Yeah.
If you had the NBA teams, you could have, without having to foster like the funding for additional teams, you could have the UK team over. You could have the French team over. You could have little exhibitions in season. Come out and see the Miami Heat ladies take on, whatever they do, the Slovenian team, and it'd be like
make it a
the
little
junior
global like
basketball
soccer.
leagues.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I would have done with the WNBA.
Because I think going back into like the investment portion, because I know was it the Spark or Sparks? I don't remember if they're
Sparks.
singular.
I
plural.
don't know.
LA
They
Sports.
one of their announcements I think it was just last week, and it's the thing that makes me feel like, is this really, I was gonna sound super disrespectful, but like, is it really a league? So Crypto Reno's going through some work. Okay, that's the big arena where the Lakers play and everything. So for their first 5 games of the season, they're going to be playing at the Cal State Long Beach Pyramid, which is it is a fucking tiny and like embarrassingly small multi-purpose court. And they're going to play their first 5 games of the season there, where it's like,
Be interesting to
that's
know
the
if
best
they
you
can sell those out.
yeah, but that's the best you're going to give them, is like, hey, you can play in this like high school equivalent gym like 30 miles away. Like,
They also do their season like in the NBA's off season.
mhm,
Like it starts here at the end and kind of goes over the summer, right?
yeah,
And that's another thing. I think if you had paired them with the NBA teams, you had the opportunity to do like double headers. You could
Yes.
have folks be like, hey, if you bought a ticket to the Cavs game, if you come out early, we're having the women's game. Or if you stay late, like there's easier ways to get people in the door,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking of it almost like from a promoter's angle. Like if I was the Vince McMahon of WNBA, like how do I get people here? How do I get them interested? How do I get them on TV?
the
That's
matinee
what I'm thinking
game
of.
and the marquee
100%.
game.
Yep.
But to even take it back to that sort of college structure as well, like that's what one type of game on Saturday, one type of game on Sunday.
You could
like,
have them like, and I know it's real carny, but like you could have them do like shooting games and warm-ups against each other,
Mhm.
games of horse 3-on-3 and stuff. Like you can indoctrinate people to this other
Yeah.
thing that they're not paying attention to. Whereas
Or
now
those
they're
could
like,
be-
you just have to support a whole other season. And people are like, when watching baseball, like you're competing against hockey, and you're competing against other sports.
Yeah.
Well, I think you bring up a good example. Is like when you show up early to like a sporting event, like baseball, for example,
Yeah.
but basketball too. You're watching them warm up. You get to spectate
Getting
all that
autographs and stuff. What
Yeah.
if there was a game going on? What if you were there earlier? What if
Mhm.
what if the NBA players were there and you could get their autographs? What if they're watching? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of crossover that the NBA just didn't do. They
Yeah.
just don't do it.
They don't help.
They're too isolated, so it doesn't even feel. It doesn't feel like a men's league, women's league, as it feels like
Different entities. AEW,
just
WWE.
completely.
Exactly.
Like they could be honestly, one could be playing pickleball and the other
Could
one
just
playing
be
basketball.
the US
They're not even the same.
basketball league.
Mhm.
And it just has men and women's franchises and teams in it,
Yeah.
but they don't
Would
do
make
that.
a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
That was always my take on it. And honestly, you guys are the first people I've ever heard be open. When I've told this, people are like, "Oh, that's terrible."
No,
You're
it
just
perfectly
making
makes
it be
sense.
the other thing.
Especially when
I was like,
a
I would root for the
structure
Cavs.
already exists.
Because I'm a Cavs fan. I don't even know if we have a WNBA team. You know, it's like
Right.
that's the thing. It's not an ignorance. It is a lack of awareness.
Mhm.
It's hard to reach people because the way that it's currently structured, you've set up the WNBA to compete against other franchises or other leagues that have been around longer and have installed fan bases.
Also,
Yeah.
going back what you said, I think it's smart to have the games in the same arena the same day as the men's games because
Lower
you save a
cost.
lot of money.
Yep.
A lot of money.
You
The lights
raise
already
ticket-
on.
You could even raise ticket prices.
Yeah, I was gonna say the lights already on.
$10 to every ticket and be like, this
The
is it.
vendors are already there. Like you're already running shit. So just
Yeah.
it's easier to keep running than to stop and restart.
And otherwise, now you're like, we need you to be relevant enough to get TV ratings, to be a demand of a TV product, and also better than Major League Baseball, than golf, than
Yeah.
you know, arena football, even the smaller stuff like XFL and stuff like that. I think more people probably watch that
Yeah.
than the WNBA.
But you bring up a good point, like when you say like a Cavs team and having a men's Cavs and ladies Cavs.
That's why women's basketball in
Like-
college is big. It's not because, and I'm sure there are diehard fans. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's diehard
No, no.
fans that do root for a player like Caitlin Clark. She's the viral and the girl LSU and stuff. And there have been
Angel
women that
Reese.
have come through, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. Like there have been people who have come through and captured a moment. But the
Yeah.
reason the casual viewers turn in for women's March Madness is because that's their alumni. They're fans of the school. That's their basketball team. They root for the colors. It feels like people are too quick to be like, "Oh, I don't root for the team these days," but most people do.
Yeah.
Like you may not, and that's a big thing in the NBA. I'm not a X fan. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm okay. That's cool.
Mhm.
The majority of the people watching are not that. People they root for their city. They root for their teams. They root for the colors.
And that's sort of the angle I was going to go into is in an oversaturated market like Los Angeles area. This gives an opportunity for exposure. All right, I'm going to go see the Lakers. I can see the Sparks too. Cool. I'll show up early and maybe catch the game. And then for a place that's considered small market, who might be hungrier for more activity because they're investing. Whereas we want to see LeBron, you want to see the Cavs. That's the sort of contrast in this. You're feeding the same product, but for two different needs. One to establish a community and culture, and the other one is to expose what is available. Either way, you fucking win.
Yep.
So someone call it Mr. NBA. I think we got it. I think we've solved the problem.
I'm hoping that it look, it's growing. Like I said, it is growing. They're having a moment. They're getting there. I hope they can capitalize off
This
it.
is probably going to be the biggest year.
Yeah.
They also said the WNBA commissioner at the draft, they said that they wanted to expand in the coming years. They want to add 4 more teams. I would push the concern for that. Don't expand unless you've got the talent to fill the teams, because the NBA went through this in the late 90s. They added a bunch of expansion teams, they had expansion draft, and the teams were kind of watered down. There wasn't enough talent to fill it, and I think that's been the WNBA's biggest issue. So there hasn't been enough talent to make it compelling for most cities to watch.
Yeah.
Now they just had this big injection of talent, and it's kind of like you need like a few of those. You need a back-to-back-to-back, inclusions of that to get everybody watching at the same time. and not just like one or two teams at a time, which is what I
You know
think the
who-
WNBA's mostly been, is you get one or two good teams and people watch that and they don't watch the
Mhm.
whole league.
Yeah.
Well, and that made me think of WNBA might really benefit more from that weird early season tournament that the NBA had. Like
You're gonna copy
this, that might be better for them because then you're going to get the teams kind of cycling with each other for a purpose as opposed to a Wednesday game.
And my even thing was, why, instead of the women going overseas to play basketball, why don't you use these franchises and go into those leagues and play them?
Mhm.
Go win the Euroball.
Yeah.
I might tune into that. You know, like, hey, if the Atlanta Dream are in the finals game for Eurobasket, I'm like, sure, let's see if we can beat, Croatia. Because I watch that stuff
Yeah.
all the time. We have the junior teams, we have the FIBA tournament. Like, I'm into international events because, again, there's a rooting interest. There's a team to root for. But yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a fun topic. I'm sure Dev has thoughts on this. I hope he brings them to the show. But I hate that it always gets. I'm not sure why this is like the hill that folks die on to prove like some sort of inequality. Because it seems like the numbers add up.
This is the wrong one to do that with.
Yeah.
There are other
I
things you
think
could do
so.
that with.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Soccer,
Soccer's
Mhm.
more,
women's soccer is getting like they're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get paid so little. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Our men's
that's
soccer
what-
team sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're holding up the sport. There's so many women that want to play soccer in this world because of U.S. soccer.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's pay them. How many medals have they won? Let's get them some money.
Yeah.
Somebody, let's sponsor the U.S. team. But yeah, the WNBA doesn't seem like it.
Not yet. It will
No.
be eventually.
But set to answer again to Yarn's question in totality, $76,000 is too little.
It is.
I make more than that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
And she's probably taking a huge, like, I'm sure she's making up in sponsorship stuff, but for her specifically, because of her star power,
Mhm.
she's probably taking a hell of a pay cut by leaving college. Because I guarantee you she was making multiple times that in NIL alone.
Did she say anything about joining that big three cubes thing?
I haven't seen. I didn't watch the draft. I only followed what little bits I saw come across.
No, I think
the social.
I think she's going. If she commits to the WNBA route,
Yeah,
it's
draft
this
is in.
before
She's going.
Cubes thing, and so no.
Because
And then
Cubes
she-
about
doesn't
paying
she
her
have some-
$5 million.
Doesn't she have some caveat too that it's like she can still because it's considered off season, she can go back to college.
Yeah, probably, maybe.
Probably. I
So
know-
she's not like how like men's
I don't think we've
pros
ever
are.
had anybody do that. I don't think we've had a WNBA player also play
Yeah.
college.
I don't remember which direction it goes, but she just has to like do 9 games of one, and then she can go back to the other. So
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
not like she's completely
I'm
out.
sure, like with her, she's an outlier because, like
Mhm.
Taurasi, like Bird, like Granite, like they're the stars.
Yeah.
They're gonna make their money. Trust me.
Yeah.
She didn't just make 76 grand. She's gonna get paid.
Yeah. She's like, I'll
They
make the
probably
76
do
grand,
very
and then I'll cop on.
She's not gonna make
on
$10
my-
million, but she's gonna
Yeah.
get paid very well. She's gonna
Yeah.
clear $1 million. She's
She
gonna
can
be in
get her
commercials.
Under Armour deal.
She's gonna be in the All-Star game. She's gonna be at
Yeah.
ESPN. Like, she's gonna get paid. She'll be fine.
For sure.
It's the backup point guard off the bench that's making 40 grand. That's nobody knows. It's the health of the league. That's what's not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
The stars, they're getting theirs. They're getting paid.
Well
But
done.
I root for them. I know Dev's into it. My coworker at work, she loves basketball, and she's really into the WNBA as well. And she's always trying to get me into it. And I'm always like, yeah, I don't have any. One, to be here, I'm looking at the teams because I didn't even know the teams. I don't even have a team. There's no team in Ohio where I'm from, so that's probably a big reason. She's like,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's Atlanta. I'm like, I don't like Atlanta teams.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to
No,
root for the Atlanta
it's not
Dream.
for
And I
me.
hate the Hawks. So yeah, I'm not even included in here because they've got a Connecticut team, Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, New York, Vegas, Los Angeles, Minnesota, Phoenix, and Seattle, Dallas.
Yeah.
So
Clark, her endorsement deals are already above $3 million.
yeah, I'm positive.
So
She's good.
She'll be all right. I was
She's
just Googling
good.
right now.
Yeah.
She's good.
And I'm sure the stars will. They'll get theirs, but it's the other ones that don't.
Yeah.
It's the average player. That's why when you go to collective bargaining, when you hear MLB and NFL, they don't talk about the star quarterback or the all-pro. They talk about the guy that just came in the league, the 5th round draft pick. You know, the guy that's on the bench. What's the lowest player salary? What's the average lowest player salary? That's the health of the league. Yeah. Can you live off of that? You know, and it's hard because, you know, like you find like a guy in baseball who's under arbitration who can't get a new deal for 7 years, and he's making, you know, like I think it's like $600,000, and people are like, that's a lot. And you start taking agent fees and taxes out of it, and like that's not like it actually goes away pretty quick, man. So. And same thing in
once
basketball.
Everyone gets a slice.
Basketball makes pretty good money, and so does the NFL. Those players are pretty well taken care of, even at the bottom of the bench. Basketball, what's the minimum contracts like? I think it's over $1 million now. I think a few years ago, I think it was like 900, but I think it might be like 1.6 or 1.8 now, like the base, right? And it could be prorated and stuff, but like, yeah, because I know, dude, the biannual exception for a player is almost 10 million now. It's like 9 million. You know, so it's pretty healthy. The NBA is pretty good.
$1.1 million.
See, there you go. That's the minimum.
Minimum.
I mean, if you make it as the 15th man, and you never play. $1 million.
Yeah, you're good.
It's pretty good. Not a bad job.
Life-changing money for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Not $76,000 though. Change your life in the wrong way.
Yeah. Like, wait, did you get a job at Walmart? What's going on?
No, Walmart's looking at you like, really? You could be a greeter.
Yeah. We got assistant store managers if you're looking for.
All right. Damn. How you gonna be in the WNBA but still doing DoorDash? Like, that's fucked up.
All right, I think that'll do it for us. I think we'll save the rest of the questions for Dev because we still got quite a few more left to go.
For sure.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Peace.
I'm burning out. I'm like, I hit a wall, man.
To get us out of here.
I was gonna get you guys out of here now. Like,
do it. Do the thing.
Oh my god, yeah, man.
You want to go find Cadillac or Mars or anything like that before we go?
Nah, fuck these people. Just
kidding. Play some video games.
Listen to us on Cadillac on Mars. We got me, my homie Delvin, T's on there too from Space Crunch and Milk. So we got all the homies in here. We'll be recording, I think, the next Monday, possibly, or I think it's the Monday after that. And then so you can catch us live, and then we'll post on the first. Our last episode was late because I was in DC. We were kind of partying it up. It was pretty good out there. So yeah, you can catch me out. Not really kind of low on socials, but you can just you can find me on mostly Instagram, just posting random stories and whatnot. CHAUFIE. You can catch us in the Discord as well. PSVG Discord.
It just keeps going on.
Hey man, I'm trying to advertise here. You know,
Yeah,
we don't supposed to be like.
I should have never said nothing.
Right, this is like a tax bill. It just keeps going. The receipt just keeps coming out.
This is what I do every day. Is I have to fucking ramble shit off. So then I'm like, okay, lights, let's go. Yeah. So, anyways, that's where you can find me. You can listen to us. Catch us on all the streaming platforms. There you go. Boom.
Smoke signals. Carrier pigeons.
Exactly. Like a CBS receipt. Fuck, man. That's for real.
Right. I guess he said it all. Play some video games. Peace.
Nobody sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, the edges.